whatever to make a book, and then he put it in a really niche category. So then it only took like 10 people to buy that book, and it became a bestseller right away. So it's like you can game this so easy, and this AI stuff is clouding. I mean, there's a cloud of war. I mean, I remember after the shooting happened and the video started coming out, the first thing everyone was saying to each other was like, "Oh, this has to be AI." And it's just completely muddying the water. It's muddying the discourse. I mean, Twitter's getting unusable to a degree just because of the amount of slop on there between AI and the third world. It's very, very hard to parse through and get real information. The way that these mechanisms work on Amazon, it's just getting more and more confusing, and truth is getting harder and harder to find. It's just, it's horrifying times at every level.
What, bud? Yay, we're back.
I don't know.
I think
I'm getting to the point where I'm just like exhausted with all the misery.
It looks like it's working. It's printing at least, right?
I feel like, a lot of it is just inflated because of the
I mean, the
AI
paper's
or
coming
just
out.
the bots, and
It can always be
causes
fixed. We can work on it then.
a reaction on each side that inflates the inflation of it.
Yeah.
So that we are not, we're not looking at actual reactions, really. They're just magnified by some beginning point that's already so much put into it, like so many examples.
We have the press conference is getting set up right now. We're expecting it at 9:30. So right now they're just setting up the TV and the podium and everything. So we'll just have this ready to go for when we get when we see them come on. But stay tuned, and it'll be up when it's up. In the meantime, yeah.
I was just going to respond to what you said, and I'm not saying that this is you, but many people are under a misapprehension that if you just put your phone away and live in the real world and touch grass, etc., that you will be shielded from these sentiments. And this incident, more than almost anything, has proven that wrong. Because people are seeing their friends, family, colleagues, acquaintances, strangers just out in the world, in public, reacting to this news with glee. And they're realizing they didn't know these people as well as they thought they did. And it's not online discourse. It's not just online discourse where people feel safe behind a profile picture. This is face to face.
I feel like the prevalence of it, the amount of it, is causing a surge in the reality of the way people are responding to it.
I'll work on it.
They're responding to what they think is happening, which is inflated by what happens online in our society now. The magnification of sentiment is, it's not to say that I don't believe people are capable of being so horrific about this event. I mean, this thing that happened. I mean, just laughing and
We're seeing
celebrating
people in the
it.
streets with, signs, sandwich boards they're wearing, supporting this killing. And, yes, sometimes...
Here, can you believe it? Tomorrow's Friday.
Outrage can be manufactured and amplified and magnified beyond what it really is. Like, okay, like maybe normal people in their daily lives don't really care about what happens to the Cracker Barrel logo. This is completely different. Completely different. And people prior to this tragedy on the right, a lot of the time were saying we need to focus on the positive stuff. We're living in a golden age and everything's great and we won. Just accept that we won and stop complaining and only focus on the victories, right? But that's just not addressing reality. And it's the uncomfortable reality that these people, we coexist with them. We have no other choice. And they don't want to coexist with us.
Then we put them in jail.
Yes.
If you're of the opinion that you're not able to coexist with the people that you share a country with, and you think that it's acceptable to do whatever because you'll make yourself the victim. You'll accuse them of all kinds of things, and you'll say, "I'm a victim. They don't believe I exist. They don't acknowledge my existence." Whatever kind of garbage emotional manipulation the left wants to use or the leftist wants to use. If you're saying, I can't exist with those people, and so I'm going to act out violently, then we put you in jail. That's it.
And again,
I'm tired of.
They're not crazy.
I don't care what they are.
They're not.
They're
like,
prisoners in my world.
We need to be clear about that. Like, they're not just lunatics, maniacs, crazy people.
They're
the man
wrong.
who killed
Some of them
Irina
are.
Zarutska was
They're
not
wrong.
crazy. He wasn't merely crazy, at the very least, is what I'm saying. That's not the reason that
brainwashed.
happened. And it's funny because, you know, people point to similar situations, similar crimes, just cold-blooded murder of a stranger. And you see every single time they choose the weak. They're at least sentient enough to know who is defenseless and who is weak, and who is an easy target. So they're not quite detached enough from reality to ever pick a fight with someone their own size who could actually fight them off. So they're not merely crazy. Maybe that's a factor, but that's not telling the whole story.
Yeah, all the people that
it absolves them.
This is a really excellent point, because I mean, like, all the people we're seeing, you know, cheer and they're in total jubilee.
Yeah.
These aren't crazy people. These aren't like schizophrenics or whatever. These are people that have come to this conclusion through a collection of information that they've processed through their worldview and have deemed this as correct. Like, we can't outsource this to some sort of mental illness. Like,
and they have jobs, and
these are people whose souls have been corroded.
Work in administrative roles. They have middle management jobs. They
send a few emails.
Yeah. Hopefully they won't have jobs
Maybe.
soon, but you know, they're
Some
existing
do the laziest
daily
work
life
they can do
with
possible.
us, and you never know when you're encountering one of them.
Look, when you
To
see
be fair, the Carlos Brown, the guy that killed Irina, like, he was probably schizophrenic.
Probably, but he was acting on a culture that
Not completely crazy is what she's saying.
And he was.
I'm just saying that doesn't explain it away.
No, I mean, you should still be put to death. Yes, but
there are
you should get the full extent of the law.
normie people at various jobs that people are aggregating that are posting this image. It is a cartoon of Charlie Kirk with blood coming from his neck, and it says "Debate this." They are saying outright, if you try to have a dialogue, that they will kill you.
Yeah,
and these
they're
are
okay
not
with you
far
being
left
killed.
extremists that we expect to see in these activist organizations. The images that are being shared across social media, these are teachers, these are nurses, these are pilots, these are professors at universities, which we kind of expect some radicalization. But this image it's horrifying that someone drew this up, and they are selling it on T-shirts, posting it all over the place at universities. And again, the terrifying aspect of it is that people on X right now, I'm reading, they're saying, here's a nurse. Here's what she posted on her Instagram.
Yep.
And it says, debate this. They are saying if you come to have a conversation, you die. I don't know where we go. I just hope the adequate and appropriate law enforcement does what it has to do to start putting a stop to this.
Law enforcement.
The only reason that those images are not incitement to violence and death threats is because they already killed Charlie, which is the horrifying thing about it. If they took a picture of me or any other personality or anyone in this room and it said debate this with blood spraying, you could interpret that as a death threat, as an imminent threat. But Charlie being dead, they're posting and plastering this thing everywhere, and we know what it means.
Yep. So law enforcement should
This
kick in their
reminds me-
door and drag them out of their house, throw them in the paddy wagon, take them to jail. We will try them.
Phil, paddy wagon's offensive. I'm Irish.
Throw them in the squad car. Is that good?
I actually don't know what they're called because everyone calls them paddy wagons, but
They need those big nets, like dog catchers.
Yeah.
You know?
Just
human
toss
catchers.
them in the car, bring them to jail, and
Police
they
van.
can.
I mean, they're
Shepherd's
opening the door
crooks
up for
are
that,
like
unfortunately.
around
No. I want doors kicked in, flashbang, entry team, scare the
I'm
hell
pushing
out
the
of them.
right
I
to
want-
win extreme laws.
In real life right now.
No, this isn't Fed posting. I want the government to do this. This is not.
I'm saying this. You're giving
The feds should be
the
the ones
sensible
posting.
center right take of how we should be reacting to this right now.
Yo, police van is the appropriate term because a patty was a derogatory slur for Irish people.
That's what I
How
thought.
dare you?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
Irish,
fine.
Phil.
They don't mind. The Irish have got a great sense of humor.
I had heard that somewhere, but I never actually fact checked it. But ChatGPT says it's true, so therefore it is, I guess.
Same with hooligan. Hooligan was also a
was it?
Irish slur. Yeah.
Oh.
What, really?
Well, it sounds like, you know, Madigan or some like Irish name,
Houlihan.
right?
Yeah.
Houlihan. I was just about to say this
Oh,
reminds
yeah.
me of
From Houlihan.
Yeah.
It was a 19th century London slur for the Irish, originating from the surname Houlihan.
Yeah.
Can you leave at the table a bunch of hooligans right
Hooligan.
now?
I have
Disgusting
Irish
hooligans.
ancestry as well.
Man, people did not like the Irish.
But last summer, there
Handicap.
was this
Handicap.
intra-right debate.
yeah.
No, they did not
going
like
on
the
about
Irish.
The, woman,
Irish were really hated originally.
that Libs of TikTok, I believe, posted about, who worked at Home Depot, who was posting on Facebook about the assassination attempt against Trump. And I think she said something to the effect of, like, I wish that it was successful. And then I believe it was Libs of TikTok that ended up exposing her information and who she was and trying to get her fired. And I think Home Depot might have actually fired that woman.
Yeah.
But there was at the time this very heated debate on the right about whether that was ethical and should we only be targeting people with public platforms whose job it is to comment on these
No.
things instead of just ordinary
not
people
safe.
who've had their minds
You're not safe
raped
behind
by
the
CNN.
username.
Like,
You
is
never
that
will be.
okay? And now that this has happened, if they had the foresight of where we would be right
Sure.
now, there would be no debate about it.
It's the ordinary people with
None.
nothing to lose that do things like we
Yes.
saw yesterday.
Yes.
It's not your streamers going out and doing this. These are the radicals at the
Mhm.
bottom, like Tim's talking about. It's people that have nothing to lose and they feel like, okay, this is my way to get into the history book or whatever. Or at the very least, they just want to settle a score because of some
Yeah, this is the
perceived
score.
injustice that's been done.
Or just ordinary evils like disowning family members, cutting off friendships.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like
Been there.
no holds barred. I've said it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. We're dealing with the death cult. We're dealing with the death cult. They relish. There's been 60 million children aborted, and they love that. They celebrate.
Yep,
They
they
celebrate the
are
death
doing child
I think
sacrifice.
they're saying something. Oh, they're doing a mic check. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's like no, give no quarter here. Enough. There's no way out of this. I mean,
No.
you have to completely demoralize them, completely break them.
The full force of the federal government should come down on terrorists in the United States.
There's a.
Yep.
So I guess the issue is, right? But what happens when it's banal?
What do you mean by that?
What happens when there's a random dude walking down the street in New York getting stopped by Don Lemon who says that he thought it was a good thing and then he's glad it happened? What happens when people are posting on social media lists of names?
Then you associate them with that org.
I mean, and there's no reaction to it. People
No,
know,
what I'm
like,
saying
this
is
par for the course.
When you have a terrorist organization and they have a list of targets, you go into a room and you find 7 people and they have weapons and a list of targets, you make an arrest. Who do you arrest when it's everyone in New York?
Yeah.
And not literally everybody, but Don Lemon walked down the street and was asking random people. Tons of these videos have popped up of man on the street interviews where people are going to universities, and I know it's selectively edited. They're choosing, but there are people all over cheering for it and saying they want more.
Thank you
So
for
the issue
follow,
is the
BB.
standalone complex. It's easy to say arrest terrorists, and it's like, okay, so what are they going to do? Arrest 100,000 people tomorrow? It's not going to
Yeah.
happen. It's
Who
impossible.
knows?
There's not a federal law enforcement to arrest it. Even if 100,000 people all stood outside screaming at the top of their lungs, they intended to commit an act of violence. The federal government doesn't have the manpower,
The
to arrest
authority
them,
or
to
the
arrest
ability to do
How do you
that.
eat an elephant?
I think
One bite at a time.
Yeah, I mean, if you create a hostile environment, like if you know you'll lose your job for rattling off.
Well, you start with the eyes, and then the anus, because you have to go for the soft parts that you can.
Cook that very well.
No, it's like, I mean, a lot of people, because this is how people on the right, I mean, that's how we were boxed in for so long, is because we were petrified of losing our jobs, petrified of this, that, and the other. It's like you just have to create that same hostile environment on the other side. Is if they realize, oh, there's actually ramifications for, bathing in blood like this, then they'll think twice about it. I mean, there's a lot of mechanisms that we haven't used yet that are now starting to get used.
I got pictures.
What I will say is,
Remember that, people? I got
cancel
pictures
culture is
of what was
back,
said.
baby. And I don't care. I ain't gonna do anything. I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna share some of the stuff that I'm seeing all over X. It's very difficult. But there's a woman who's mocking the death of Charlie Kirk with hundreds of thousands of followers dancing on TikTok. And so people found out where found her husband's business and have review bombed it online into oblivion. It is now a 1-star business.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, I think anyone tone policing the right now, just take a long look in the mirror, reevaluate what your priorities are, because that's just ridiculous after what we've been through this last week, especially, but let alone yesterday. Yeah, like I said,
About the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you're tone policing right now at this moment, like, what are we doing here?
Wow.
You're an op at this point.
People are spamming the image of his wife dancing on his page with the phrase thoughts and prayers and 1-star reviews. And he's got his business used to be rated 5 stars, and now it is got 1,000 1-star reviews.
At least Spirit Halloween there. That'd be nice.
They're not used to OPSEC, are they, on the left?
They're not at all.
They don't take those precautions at all.
Well, the
government
right
name.
didn't engage in cancel culture, didn't have the ability for the most part, didn't respond with violence ever or do anything, and that's why they all gloated and laughed and mocked. And I think to these liberals that are crying on their shows now, it's because, or Hassan, for instance, there's a video going viral right now that I don't think we can play.
I love her.
They say it's a montage of Hassan calling for violence against right-wingers. Now he's panicking because he's realizing the game just started.
Yep.
And I mean the game figuratively. I'm saying
Come on,
what
there's
he
a game
advocated
too.
for, because he says in a video game, we should go do this in a video game.
Yeah, the feds should pick him up, denaturalize him, and send him to
You just
Turkey.
better though, but if you want to grab me a
Yeah, I
bottle,
saw
of
the,
IRL, yeah, absolutely, in real life, not in a game. Pick him up, strip him of his citizenship because he is an anchor baby. Send him to Turkey.
Oh, and seize assets.
Well, he was born here though,
He
right?
just like
And
sitting
seize
up
Jersey,
right.
assets.
Yeah,
Grew up in Istanbul,
He
so
like
it's
sitting
like,
up like
yeah,
this.
he's familiar with the
Do
area.
you
He'll
want
love
a
it. It's like a
bottle? I
homecoming.
really
anchor
don't
baby.
Be a great
He's
time.
not a
probably
real
won't need
American.
one.
Get him out of here.
Yep.
It's kind of
Nice to
ironic
see.
that Charlie's organization is what he's begun here in our country. The turning point is like the tipping point of
Yeah.
many things in our society now. I mean,
do
it feels like
wonder,
that.
Like, what is the future of Turning Point
No
as an
coma.
organization? Obviously, nobody can
Oh,
fill Charlie Kirk's shoes, but someone will actually have to take over his position in that organization if it's to continue, and we need it to.
Hey,
It's
And
a-
that's
How
what
you
he would
doing?
want.
Yeah.
It's a really vital institution on
How's
the
your
right.
day
I mean,
been?
I was talking about it earlier. Is like he's taking a lot of people that are already conservative, like they grew up in Republican homes, but he's giving them pathways into becoming assets for the movement, broadly speaking. And we need Turning Point. I mean,
Milo is going nuclear.
Yeah, he is. He's great. I love
he's
him.
back. He's back.
Milo has been, he said, all right, I am unretiring. And he began posting many of these progressives celebrating the death of Charlie and then reporting that they had been fired from their jobs.
Yeah, he. The
Yeah.
most recent one is the guy from. There was a pilot that was saying some disgusting things, and Milo informed his employer, and he is no longer employed.
Milo is like
Yeah.
the hatchet man for the right. So
Yeah.
it's about time that he's
It's great.
back.
Maybe
This
a
is like,
new Milo college tour.
yeah, but
He actually talked about that, yeah.
We might need
Yeah.
that. This is like when MJ came back out of retirement. Like there's
It was
3
awesome.
rings that he's gonna win now. This is
I met
beautiful.
the first time I met Milo is he went to Dartmouth College in New Hampshire, and I drove up there to see the show and hang out and stuff. And he was awesome.
Yeah, we need guys like that. Like
Mhm.
Libs of TikTok's excellent. Like you need those people that are operating kind of where this leftist violence is coming from. Like it's coming from these ordinary people. I mean, it's easy to go after these streamers or politicians or whatever, but it's like where the insurgency is going to happen and where things are going to get kinetic. That's where you need to be concentrating assets and resources. And so people like that, I mean, they're doing the Lord's work. There's no question about it.
I would love to see Milo go on another college tour after this.
We love you, Milo.
I would love
We had-
it.
we had asked
and he's
him about
even
it.
more powerful now that he's not homosexual.
Right.
Well,
Dangerous.
It's
What?
we had-
Dangerous guy.
He's just a dangerous man.
Dangerous
I'm a
hetero.
dangerous queen. I
That's
mean,
the
let's
name of
be
his
honest
book.
here.
When we asked him about it, he goes, "I'm 40." That's how that was his response, and he should do it. He absolutely should, and I think it would be tremendous.
Yeah.
And to clarify, what he said
Be the
was,
baby girl thing.
and I hope I'm quoting him correctly. The media
baby
claimed he
girl
was no
thing.
longer gay. He never said that. He says he was refraining from engaging in homosexual behaviors, And you know,
He does call himself ex-gay.
right. But what he was saying was that he's still very much attracted to men, but he will abstain from it because it's sinful. And the media
It could be like X Games. Who knows? Like a more
There was a woman
intense version of gay.
Well, I mean, I think Milo would.
Someone's saying something. I don't know what it is. Mic check. Yeah, we got a mic check going.
Well, there was a woman that offered to marry Milo, and he sent her back a contract term sheet. So it's like he's viewing heterosexuality very pragmatically, very business-minded. He said, I think he said verbatim, "My people will talk to your people." So
I think he would just say that like being gay isn't a state of being; it's not an identity. So he never was gay to begin with.
Yeah,
that's probably what
fact
he would
check
say.
true. Yeah. So welcome back, Milo. We're
so
glad that our Hatchet Man is back.
I hope he means it. I hope it's not just a heat
her.
of the moment thing that he's saying.
No, I think he does.
Yeah,
He gets it. He knows what time it is.
Yeah.
He's not the kind of guy that
Just
says
that
things
more?
that he doesn't mean.
Everyone across the right knows what time it is. Like every phone call I had this morning with my friends at every level, grassroots, whatever, they're saying the same thing, which is we have to do so much more. Like this Charlie's work is an indictment on us. Like we could be giving so much more.
While we're waiting for the press conference real quick, I want to play this clip. It should be starting any minute, but I want to play this from Ben Shapiro.
On a sort of personal level, aside from knowing Charlie and believing that Charlie was a wonderful human being, is the fact that for 10 years, more than that, I went to college campuses, did the same thing that Charlie did. And I always said to my wife and to people around me, they would say, well, is it safe? And I'd say, of course it's safe. This is America. And sure, security would tell you to put on a bulletproof vest, but do you need a bulletproof vest to speak freely in America? Do you need hundreds of... I always thought it was overkill.
Need to.
I always thought it was overkill. I do not think it's overkill anymore. I think that we've entered into a new world, a world where huge percentages of the American public, by the polling, are okay with violence against one another based on speech, where excuses are made, permission structures are created for murder because you disagree with the political position of another human being. I'm not sure how we get back, except by appeal to the exact values that Charlie stood for. Open debate, normal discussion. The thing about all the videos of Charlie, he's unfailingly polite in these videos to people. When he is having these discussions, he is polite. He was having polite, normal conversations with people who disagreed on these college campuses. And for that, he was murdered.
Yeah.
Hey.
Indeed.
Hey.
Someone just super chatted.
Hey, squealer.
Carlo Magno says, Tim, are you pro
Yeesh,
death
I was
penalty
at
for
another
Charlie's
level.
killer? You know what I said the other day when this question came up is that in a moment like this, it's almost impossible to be morally consistent.
Hey.
And someone quoted, I think it was like Alinsky, who said something to the effect that consistency, I forgot the quote was, but something like, in politics, there is no moral consistency.
Hi.
Something like that.
You okay?
And that's what we see from the left. What I can just say is,
you hang out with me tonight?
the difficulty is, of course, the attempt to destroy a nation. This is more than just another murder, another act of violence. This was a public display at a high-profile political event in one of the most gruesome ways, with the intention to rip this country in half and burn it to the ground, which is substantially more devastating than just someone walking down the street and then getting shot in a mugging or something. Which, of course, even in like those kinds of murders, you typically don't get the death penalty. But they're typically the death penalty is reserved for torturous murder in very extreme cases, and this is one of the most extreme cases ever. And the only thing I can say is when the officers came out and said that Utah has the death penalty, I said, okay. I am typically against it because my concern is you create a machine that allows for the state to decide when they kill somebody, and the state will get it wrong. It will. It just happens. However, in the singular instance of Charlie Kirk's killer, I believe that what law enforcement deems appropriate, let me just be fair, guys. I'll put it this way. As I've long said, I oppose the death penalty, but I'm not an activist. I don't go out and march, and I don't demand moratoriums. It's not the biggest issue on my plate. I just lean slightly against it and say, here's why.
Yeah, the idea that you can't change your mind about an issue, up at that dude's hoo-ha. I mean, it doesn't... you're a human being, and this is a different situation.
Well, but real quick, sorry, Phil. Just logically, I oppose the death penalty.
Okay, that's totally. But I think it's also there are exceptions. You know, I mean, there are exceptions.
Sure, right.
So that's all. Yeah.
Sometimes a crime is so egregious, so heinous.
Guys, it's very simple. My opinion has evolved.
Exactly.
Well, but mine hasn't. My feelings on the matter are that of rage and a demand for retribution. My logic centers are, regardless of the circumstances, a state that has the authority that you grant it to kill people ultimately will result in Kamala Harris as your executioner throwing other people like Charlie Kirk in the machine that you have authorized, and that's what I fear. So it is a difficult but good question. It's a good question.
This the scenario that you described at the end there is always possible, right? Like, they're not going to say, "Well, you don't like it, so I don't like it either." That is the overarching situation that we're in, that the people on the right need to realize. When we are concerned about using the power that the right has access to, we must remember the left has no reservation like that.
Did you all know that Charlie Kirk called black children a gift from God?
Of course he did.
Of course he did. You see, the actual context and circumstance is that a black woman
just upset her enough to like send her off the deep end.
And he asked her about her child and said,
"Because she's fine now, right?"
Smile on his face. That is a gift from God. Now, the way I framed it, of course, was to
So
make some
angry.
activist-y statement about race. The reason I did that is because when he openly criticized Ketanji Brown Jackson, the left took his quote out of context and claimed he was calling black women in general
I
stupid.
don't get to touch her or hold her at all. So I was like,
When Charlie Kirk saw an individual woman with a child and said, "Your child is a gift from God," with a smile on his face, and he smiled and said, "Thank you," I can decontextualize it and make it sound like he was praising all black people. The reality is Charlie was not a racist. They lie because they need to make you hate him. And when I mentioned there's a liberal friend of mine who on Instagram posted a video saying that Charlie got
she was fine. She was cool on me for a little bit, and then she just got like upset. I think I pooped her one too many times, and she was like,
this person who posted it
enough.
never once listened to anything Charlie had to say.
Of course not.
And some random psychopath made a post out of context to lie, and she saw it and believed it. Because these people are demons. They are evil. And someone made a post about how this has... They said that they don't believe in God. They don't know if God's real, but they know demons are. They know evil is. And seeing what happened to Charlie has them considering, faith or religion.
No, you're not.
I was talking to Jack Posobiec, and I told him, I said, Jack, the most compelling argument for religion to me is never the resurrection, because I don't know. I don't believe in the resurrection the way you do, but I know demons exist because I've seen them. It is indescribable, the evil that I've seen that defies human vices. And that's the argument to me. So I'll explain that, because that was the conversation I had with Jack, and
Argument
we had
of
a
evil.
conversation about it. But what I mean is, typically you'd expect humans to act towards some kind of human interest, or they're mentally ill. So there is the greed, lust, wrath, sloth, envy, etc. And envy is a principal motivator for many of the left. This is a plainly human reaction. Someone wants...
Look outside. Does it look like morning?
Someone wants a thing. So when they steal, you understand the human nature and element of it.
Oh, man. That proved you wrong real quick.
Personally, people who have taken actions that serve only to destroy themselves and those around them, with smiles and twisted grins, seemingly just for the purpose of
you little
pain,
pouty boy,
suffering,
get over here.
destruction, or desecration.
Oh, you little pouty boy, go over here.
And I couldn't comprehend why they would do it. The only explanation is evil. Because if you were to look at a person who is good and they're trying to help you, you can always say, well, look, he is trying to help you.
Your foot okay now?
That if you succeed, he succeeds. A rising tide lifts all ships.
Hey,
he's
go
only
get ready
because
for
he
bed,
expects
and then
this,
you can
or,
come down and cuddle with
you're
me,
home a
okay?
favor, things like that.
You can't walk.
But
Here, use my
what
cane
is
to
the
get
function
around.
of evil?
All right, go upstairs.
When someone grabs
get
a child
your pajamas on and come down, you can hang out with me for a bit.
For just there's no benefit.
He's gonna cuddle with me.
No benefit to humanity. It only serves to cause pain.
This is the only time he settles down.
It was a Mall of America. The individual who did it is to be to suffer for it. And again, there's the argument of, but they're mentally unwell. Many of these individuals, you would argue, are.
I thought you were gonna destroy
your seemingly functioning, logical, sane individuals who do things like this, and it defies logic. They are not behaving in a way that benefits
could you do me a favor?
Their own
Put these away.
They are taking an action that only destroys, causes suffering to literally everyone in themselves. And that, to me, is just evil. It's demonic. And they laugh as they burn. And I'm like, that is not logical or sane or rational, or I don't know what's wrong with them. I suppose the easy answer is there must be some defect in their brain when they do these things, but I'm like, some of these people are high functioning and they act normal.
Yeah,
and then they do evil
psychopaths.
things.
It's not a cognitive dysfunction. You're right. They are under the influence of demons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The light will shine into the darkness and the darkness will not comprehend it. It completely defies human reason. That's the point. And that's why trans people specifically seem to have this propensity towards violence and violent fantasies, because their entire
Are you getting pajamas on coming down?
Of self.
Okay.
And
make sure you do it. Listen all the way.
While we're waiting, because the press conference, of course,
I want to hear
we'll
what this press conference rants and
chats. So smash the like button, share the show. The uncensored portion of the show is coming up at 10, perhaps, unless the press conference runs long. We will stay here for the breaking news. Shanitz Wilder says, I'll be leading a prayer space for Charlie and his family Sunday night at 8:30, 7:30 Central on X. We'll pray the Sacred Heart, Divine Mercy, and St. Michael's Chaplet. All the Timcast family is welcome to join. Right on. All right. Mythos says, the doxing on Twitter is beautiful. So much scum getting consequences. No, let's clarify. No one's getting doxed. These people have made public posts on profiles that have identified themselves. No one is showing their address or anything. What we're seeing is they made a public post, and then on their profiles it's like, I work for company. And then someone tags company, hey, this person works for you, and then the company fires them.
It's never even crossed their mind that they would face consequences. Yeah. Full name, face, LinkedIn.
Yeah, they're always just like confused when they
have no idea.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Will Austin says, I work for Scott Pressler's Early Vote Action. We do the work Turning Point does, just on a smaller scale. Now would be a great time to get Scott Pressler back on the show.
I agree, Phil. I 100% agree, Phil.
We'll reach out. Mr. Beebe says, can you look into the report Alex Jones put out about the New York Times headline from 9/9 about Charlie Kirk shooting? He said there were headlines on the Wayback Machine 19 hours before the incident. Indeed, because what these companies do is they write articles, then when news breaks, they go to the existing article, erase it, and rewrite it. Why? Because it maintains Google search optimization. It is disgusting. And there were a few high-profile instances where the New York Times did this. They wrote an article that was fact-based, neutral about the Reddit CEO. This is back in, I think, like 2014. It went viral on Reddit, for instance. It was like the number 1, 3, and 5th most viewed articles of all time. And then within like a day or so, they changed the article to an opinion piece about how misogynists had trampled feminism. So if you went on Reddit and you saw a headline that said Reddit CEO fired and clicked it, it would bring you to an op-ed about feminism. That violates Reddit's rules and was unprecedented. I reached out to several moderators at the time, and I asked them, I said, the rules for these subreddits is that the title of the post must be identical to the title of the headline. There is obviously some forgiveness if the title of the headline alters in only the most minimal of ways, like punctuation or articles. But these are different articles. And there was some communication between the moderators. They were all shocked that the New York Times was doing this because of what it meant for Reddit as moderators. And they agreed to delete all the posts because they broke the rules. The New York Times did because they're trying to game Google to rip off the system and make money. Pretty wild. All right, let's see what we got. Kenna Olivia says, rest in peace, Charlie, an American hero. Tim and everyone, your live shows, tonight especially, make me and many others not feel so alone. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. In this pain. God bless you all. Andre Tugalescu says, Charlie Kirk should be canonized. You know, I've been hearing that. A lot of people saying that. What do you think, Mary?
Well, he wasn't Catholic. I don't think a non-Catholic
He wasn't Catholic?
No, he was.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I've heard that his wife is Catholic. I didn't know that.
She's devout Catholic, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't think a non-Catholic can be.
I'm pretty sure you're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Certainly a man of faith, though.
Yeah.
Not to discredit that.
Yeah, Ian said that the other night, and there are criteria that have to be met. You can't just be like, really awesome dude.
Two miracles.
Missing another important part.
Did you see people were posting?
You don't avenge
Charlie?
yourselves.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are posting. I am Charlie, or his name in the chat. There's people that are posting. His name was Charlie Kirk. There's a lot of people that are saying, just we Charlie Kirk. And good, because people understand that this could very easily be them. The people that killed Charlie don't love
Charlie.
Normal conservatives either, and they would do horrible things to you as well.
So we got this video. I knew this, and I'm just seeing it now again, that Charlie was from Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was from Arlington Heights, which is a northern suburb of the Chicagoland area. And someone posted, let me see if I can pull this up. While we're still waiting for this press conference, I'll keep the audio low so we can hear if it starts.
I'll listen closer.
Isabel Brown posted this. From his high school yearbook, he was voted most likely to become president.
Yeah.
Wow.
Most likely to take over the world.
Wow.
Most likely to make a difference in the world. Charlie Kirk.
Wow.
We have a clip that I want to pull up of Benny Johnson snapping on Chris Cuomo as we wait for this press conference. Any word yet? No? All right. So let's start from the beginning. It's a minute.
I don't really care how we got here so much. There is a lot of blame to go around. I do not see you guys as victims. You give as good as you get. There is a lot of anger. There is a lot of exaggeration. It is all hate for profit on the fringe of this battling binary political system.
Something on my phone.
My question is,
but you gotta be quiet and calm, okay?
now what?
Get ready for bed.
Charlie Kirk has never advocated violence ever. Charlie Kirk was only
I'm not saying
you can fall asleep on me if you want to.
Peaceful debater.
Okay.
He went into places where he knew he was hated in order
get
to
comfy.
engage
I agree.
kindly and humanly
that
with people.
he was not
So
about
for you
violence.
to say that
I
it's
get
the
it.
same thing,
Hold on.
it's not.
Hold on, I'm not
Yeah,
talking
you can
about
keep
it with
your phone
Charlie.
right here.
Benny, don't play games with me. I'm giving you latitude because you deserve it, because this was your friend, and this is scary, and it hurts, and it could have just as easily been you.
The
This is scary.
dehumanization is wrong. It's wrong. And you'll
There's
never
no
be able-
question, but Benny,
You'll never be able to chew
Benny.
me out, Chris, because I'll never dehumanize.
Benny,
If I hear that Joe Biden
I'm
gets a
not
terminal
chewing
cancer
you out.
diagnosis, if I hear that Joe Biden gets a terminal cancer diagnosis, I'll say a prayer for him. I'll say that I hope he lives the rest of his days painless. That's exactly what I said, and every person that I know and respect, and I know them all in my ecosystem, said the same thing. Not a single one of us celebrated. Not a single one of us celebrated Joe Biden's terminal cancer diagnosis. Now, I can show you a endless series of TikToks and celebration posts and T-shirts made celebrating this travesty. There is a fundamental difference of those who glorify death on the left, and it is demonic, it's sick, and it's dark, and it needs to be.
All right, but
it needs to be disavowed.
I hear
Chris Cuomo is part of the problem.
Absolutely.
It is a fact in the mainstream political space that there are prominent liberals who scream into the camera that Trump is a threat, that we are a threat. There are prominent, high-profile liberals who intentionally lie about all of us and smear us and claim that we're calling for violence. They posted videos where they said that Charlie Kirk wants you dead. They do it on purpose. It's stochastic terrorism. And Chris Cuomo has the gall to say it's coming from both sides. You know, I ask myself this periodically. Is it? Are we blinded by what's going on? Perhaps we're wrong by our own biases. And then I see every single day that, let's just call it 80-20 in both directions, and that is, on the right, 80% of the right-wing voices are saying, stop, we can't have violence. And on the left, it's inverted. You have your 20% or so of prominent liberals who are coming out now saying, we don't want this, we don't want this. And then you can take a look at the individual, I'm going to leave unnamed, a celebrity, saying Charlie got the world that he wanted. How about that? People like Ilhan Omar, people like Matthew Dowd on MSNBC who said it must have been shooting their guns in celebration, which is psychotic because people don't do that. Saying that he said awful things and he got it. And this happens all the time on the left at the highest levels. And I've got words for the Young Turks even, but I'm going to cut them slack because they've turned around in recent history, but we all know it. We know what Hassan Piker has said. The highest trafficked leftist streamer has a viral video right now that I cannot play because as the video states, he is calling for violence against the right.
Yep.
I can't repeat some of the things he said. And then he goes into video game. And then Chris Cuomo, because the dude can't read and is a liar, says it's coming from both sides. I'll say it again. A Patriot Prayer. An event in Portland. A guy showed up doing Nazi salutes, and they threw him out. I'll say it again. I was at a Patriot Prayer Proud Boys March in Portland. Antifa counter-protested, and Antifa was screaming racial slurs at the top of their lungs at the Proud Boys because there were black people and Latinos. And there was a black man who was with the Proud Boys who started fuming, broke from the crowd, and went to cross the street. And a white Proud Boy ran up to him and grabbed him by the arm, turned him around and said, stop listening to him. You are my brother. Took his hand and said, don't let him divide us. You are my brother. Don't listen to them. And it was the white leftists screaming the racial slurs. There's a video where they went to an ICE facility screaming the N-word at police. So Chris Cuomo needs to pay attention and actually read about what's going on. But I'm not surprised the guy who faked having COVID and lied about it to this day would have no integrity. It looks like they may be getting ready for this press conference. We're still waiting, but we'll stick with it.
Yeah, they gave a 2-minute warning.
Is that what they did? Good.
Yep.
Looks like a police officer walked up to the podium. I'm sick of this game of, I asked myself this today. I mentioned that story where it was the weirdest thing in the world for me to hear the words from my wife, they killed Charlie. And how serious that meant for us. And why it is that for the past several years, we have had to live with consideration of leftist violence and threats against our family. 15 swattings in 1 year, bomb threats, 2 bomb squads, my home being swept. They found a private address of mine that was leaked by someone who had private information, and they swatted it. We don't see that happening to Hassan. No, the worst that happened to Hassan was that Sam Hyde went on stage and said he was going to kill him, which is a bad thing, don't get me wrong.
All right, there's cash.
Here we go, press conference, we got cash.
Exactly, it doesn't affect me, so I don't care.
Oh, YouTube. Shout out to Kash Patel, by the way. Amazing
because
work.
Because it's a disgusting thing for him to say, so if he were to say something like that, it's literally
like...
I've
spoken to that guy.
That was amazing.
It's so weird, man.
Stupid.
It's crazy to me that we interviewed Donald Trump and he was the main guest on our show.
Hi everybody, thank you for being here today. My name is Hillary Kellner. I am the Communications Director for the Utah Department of Public Safety. This evening we have FBI Director Patel, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, Governor Spencer Cox, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, and Commissioner Anderson, as well as Commissioner Bo Mason, as well as some local partners here present with us today. Governor, we'll kick it off.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate the media and the partnership we have with you in helping us to get information out to the public so that we can catch this assassin and hold him accountable. We are going to share a portion of a video and that we have of the suspect, as well as some new stills. Those have already been released, but we want to make sure that they get as much attention as possible, so that we can get help from the public in tracking down this evil human being. So we're going to queue up the video right now. Show that. I've asked Commissioner Bo Mason if he would narrate to you what is happening in this video.
Yeah.
Thank you, Governor. Yes, Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was proned out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video, and I'll narrate as we walk through that. So here you see that the suspect ran behind that upper
you see him there running through?
He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner.
Carrying the gun.
As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of
He's
that.
a teenager. Or like late college kid.
His black t-shirt, his black pants, and there appears to be some white on the soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for. In the stills that are going to follow this, you're going to see a very distinctive t-shirt with an American flag and appears to have an eagle on it. There's also a baseball cap with a triangle on it and a pair of sunglasses. All distinctive, all things that we would ask the public to look for and try to identify if they know someone who has those items, who has been seen wearing those items. We're looking for all that information. Here you see the suspect after dropping off the building. He moved around across this grassy area, around the parking lot. We're going to pan to the right. After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area. This is the video evidence that we utilize to track his movements and to locate that firearm in that wooded area following the discovery of this evidence. Good. You want to go to the stills?
You okay?
So here's the still photographs. I mentioned these have been enhanced. So these are slightly different than what we introduced earlier. Please pay close attention to the t-shirt. Like I said, very distinctive with that American flag and that eagle. The hat with the triangle and the sunglasses. If you go to the next picture, please. The backpack as well. All identifying features that we're hoping the public can help us identify and lead us to this suspect. Next picture. And again, there's a better picture of the hat with that triangle logo, and again the t-shirt. Blue jeans, and get a good look at those Converse tennis shoes as well. We have pushed these out, we'll continue to push these out, and we just ask for the public's cooperation through the public. The tips that have been coming in are what are giving us our next leads and enabling us to continue to further this investigation. We've had great cooperation from the public, and we're continuing to ask for that as we move forward. Thank you, and I'll turn the time back over to Governor Cox.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Mason. I want to thank Director Patel and his team. It's great to have them on the ground with us tonight. We've had several briefings, and he's had an opportunity to walk the crime scene. We appreciate our local law enforcement here. Again, we have Mike Smith, who is the county sheriff here. We have all of our local chiefs of police that are here as well, all working hand in hand with the state and with the FBI as we move forward with this investigation. Now, just give you a little warning, we will not be taking any questions at this time. We're giving you the latest information we have, being as transparent with everything that we have. But I do want to share a couple things that I think are important. we cannot do our job without the public's help right now. The public has answered our call for action. So far, we've received more than 7,000 leads and tips. I would just note that the FBI hasn't received this many digital media tips from the public since the Boston Marathon bombing. This case also highlights the dedication of our law enforcement community. We have 20 federal, state, and local law enforcement partners that are working shoulder to shoulder to find the person who committed this horrific crime. With their support, we've completed nearly 200 interviews. As you're aware, as has already been reported, the FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the identification and arrest of the person responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. We also continue to implore the public to support this investigation and come forward with any information. We are truly hopeful that this video and new photos will lead to even more tips. We are processing. We have an incredible team, a state and federal team working together to process those tips. We're going out in tandem to interview any potential person of interest or suspects. But we need, again, we need as much help as we can possibly get. Any videos or photos that you might have, the public, should be submitted to our digital media tip line, which is www.fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. Again, that is fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. You can also provide general tips about the shooting by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI, or at tips.fbi.gov. This is, I would just say, this is not just a local matter here in Utah. We have people all over the country that are helping to bring this perpetrator to justice for Charlie Kirk and his family. I will just add as well that, as was mentioned, there is a lot of forensic evidence that is being processed right now at both the state lab and the federal labs, federal lab on the East Coast. So we are working in tandem together. I would also just add a word of note for those people who are spending so much time on social media. I think Charlie said it best, that when things get bad, we should put our phones down and spend a little time with our families. There is a tremendous amount of disinformation. We are tracking our team, the state team, and I'm sure the federal team as well. What we're seeing is our adversaries want violence. China, we have bots from Russia, China, all over the world that are trying to instill disinformation and encourage violence. I would encourage you to ignore those, to turn off those streams, and spend a little more time with our families. We desperately need some healing. We'll have more to say about that in the days and weeks to come. More than anything, we are going to catch this person. Last thing I will just say is we've been working with our attorneys, getting everything that we need, affidavits ready, so that we can pursue the death penalty in this case, and that will happen here in the state of Utah. Again, to the public, to those who are grieving, thank you for your prayers. I know we are feeling those prayers. I know the Kirk family is feeling those prayers as well. We pray that God will bless our nation at this very dark time. We can start healing by finding this perpetrator and holding him accountable, and we need your help to do that. Thank you.
Oh, no statement from Cash? All right. Let down. Oh, that's all right. That's what I'm saying. Well, there you go. That's the press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the uncensored portion of the show. I want to talk about some of these videos from some of these liberals and leftists and what they've been saying. So you can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. That's going to be rumble.com/TimcastIRL in just about a minute or so as we go through rounding out the show. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Once again,
she's ready.
Join our Discord server at timcast.com.
She needs like a walker.
You can call into the show as a member
I
of
know
our
she
Discord
can't hold her
community,
head
and
up.
this
But she's
conversation
like
doesn't
ready.
stop. They have pre-shows, after-shows, hangouts, and there's
Come here, Eli. I'll hold you.
We're working on
You don't have to
community
leave me.
events.
I got your pumpkin stuff.
Despite the risks and threats, we're just adapting. So we'll figure that one out.
You got your pumpkin.
Yeah, Jay, did you want to shout anything out?
No, I don't actually. I don't. I have some things in the works personally, but I don't have anything concrete right now.
Where can people
this
find it?
is actually pretty much nowhere right now. Yeah.
All right.
Low profile. Yeah.
Amen.
Well, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you can find me on X and Instagram at Real Tate Brown, and just remember, Charlie was a titan because he reoccupied the mainstream and he shifted it. Be wise, be prudent, be careful, but be cautious if you're a young man. And just remember the left. If you've done your job correctly, the left will be celebrating when you left the arena.
You guys can go subscribe to Pop Culture Crisis. We go live every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and follow me on X, Instagram, or TikTok, all Mary archived.
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. I am the band is All That Remains. You can follow the band on YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, and Deezer. Go to the gym. Get in shape. There are people that hate you. Give them more reasons to hate you. Be champions.
We are going to keep the show going, so head over to rumble.com/TimcastIRL for the uncensored portion of the show, where we have much more to discuss, and it's just not so fun. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you over there in about 30 seconds.
I always try to go watch them, but it's premium, and I don't have premium. Like, let's see. My dashboard. Made 3 cents on my last run of the video. Let's see.
He's out, and we just asked for the public's cooperation through the.
Him, and the more time passes, the more likely that is.
Yeah.
I tend to think the FBI would just lie in the past. When the shooter was known to the FBI, they catch them right away. It's kind of like, right, we get it. So in this instance, it looks genuine that
they have no fucking.
This is what it actually looks like.
They have no fucking idea who did it.
Right.
I don't think he can be out in the world, and I mean, people will turn him in.
We don't have his face.
I think 4chan probably knows who it is.
I mean,
the Sky person.
Maybe. I'm not gonna say the name because you don't know for sure.
I don't know if it is. Yeah.
You know, we don't want to get sued. It happens. Let's. I want to play this video. I've not seen it, but it's. Let's just play it.
I'm sick and tired of left wingers, liberals. You need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this shit, man? Slice them up. Slice them and fucking dice them. What the fuck is this?
Holy
you
shit.
cannot have a bigger fucking layup. You could not have had a bigger fucking layup than a horrible candidate like Herschel Walker. Sure, he was prepared very well. And Herschel Walker actually had a good...
the chat
we
just
do
said
need to
Shankum
make
boys.
sure we do. We got to keep attracting younger viewers that, grow up on TikTok, when they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Holy
even though
fuck.
they shouldn't be.
3, it's like all here. Now this guy's down. He's dead. These guys are like
and fatally wounded.
they're not even running. They're not even like cowering and running away and screaming in fear. There's like, okay, well, they did it. We got our shots. Okay, is this guy done? Oh shit. Well, okay. Well, we brought the
It's
white.
called shock, you fucking idiot. It's called shock. Anything that happens, I mean, like, holy shit, guys. If you live in Florida, I have an opportunity for you. If you want to earn $100,000, let me know.
Thank you.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Flags. We can put that over the bleeding part, assuming he got shot and is actually right.
Flag.
And then this guy.
874 Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like that's
That's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning.
Wow.
Like he's literally, this is his last term. So I think that people are a lot more radical.
It's hurt poor people that they can afford housing in Berkeley. I don't know how that works.
My understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
This is the clip I was talking about.
Wow. That's like an old clip, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How is he still on Twitch?
Because
No idea.
Twitch is fucking commie bullshit.
They love that guy.
Jesus.
The owner of Twitch, or the...
Well, he was just on screen saying, like, we need to get these children who are 9, 10, 11 years old.
That was someone else. That wasn't Hassan. That was some weird. I don't
That
know.
was the guy that runs Twitch.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the CEO. of
He
Twitch.
was,
Holy shit.
He was giving Hassan a birthday present.
Yeah.
And like there for his birthday.
That's why
brought
he's
him
on
a cake.
Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants
the guy that runs Twitch.
9-year-olds watching this shit.
I hold Bezos responsible. Doesn't he own Twitch?
It's an Amazon property.
It is.
Fuck Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm finna tweet it.
Amazon properties.
For those that don't know, finna means fixing to. Southern slang.
Craziness. But the fact that this guy is, like, he's shitting his pants right now because he knows that he has said some absolutely horrible things, and he is at the top of the list when it comes to crazy people that might want to get some, get some retribution from the left.
Here's Ilhan Omar.
What I do know for sure is that, Charlie was someone who once said, guns save lives.
This is recent too.
After a school shooting.
About Charlie.
You're not comfy.
Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard.
I just got to pause, and this is right there in this moment. The line.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
George Floyd
Hey, where's my cane
was
at?
chewing on a speedball,
Did you leave my cane
methamphetamines,
upstairs?
behind the wheel of a car, tried using counterfeit money. The police saw him in the vehicle and took him out.
Honestly, where
They
did you leave my
attempted
cane
to
at?
arrest him, and by all means, please go watch the body cam
Is it
footage
upstairs,
that corroborates
buddy?
all of this.
Can you go get it for me?
He resisted arrest,
So turn the light on in the hallway.
put me on the ground 3 times, and they put him on the ground. He had a lethal
I'll
amount
go
of
get it.
fentanyl in his system.
I'll bring it back down.
I am not saying that was his cause of death. That was reported. Derek Chauvin showed up after this point, was informed that that Floyd was being arrested and resisting, and he used a neck restraint. Call it whatever you want. Maybe he was negligent. By all means, make the argument. But George Floyd is the man that they champion. And when Charlie Kirk called him a scumbag, he's making reference to a man who was doing drugs while driving. And they defend George Floyd.
Slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country by saying Juneteenth should never exist. And I think, there are
You
a
see
lot
what
of
he just
people.
did? He downplayed slavery and what Black people go through by saying Juneteenth shouldn't exist. Those are two completely different things. Saying there shouldn't be a new national holiday has nothing to do with whether or not it was a problem that people were enslaved.
People who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, than to completely pretend that his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or so, and
they are violent, dangerous psychopaths that lie.
Denaturalize and deport.
I, in my personal life,
Deport
have to deal with what these people do every day. And it's funny because people who watch the show experience it too. And people super chat being like, my brother or my cousin said this about you. And I watch the show and I'm like, you've never said that. They just fucking make it up.
Evil.
Yeah, for the purpose of destruction and murder. She is saying that because she wants more of us to be murdered. This is not true. Charlie never advocated for death or downplayed slavery. He was not a racist. But they're lying because they want the people who don't and won't watch these shows to have hate in their hearts and to engage in acts of violence. We should grab some callers, and we'll start with Breakfast Lord Waffles.
What's up, Waffles?
You are muted, sir.
Hey there, thanks for having me back. Greetings from Minneapolis.
Right on.
Hello.
So, question for the panel. America is profoundly sick. Politically, socially, physically, mentally, and reproductively. Much of this has been tied to endocrine system disrupting chemicals, or EDCs, which are widely proven to cause IQ loss, obesity, diabetes, depression, anxiety, ADHD, autism, infertility, sex hormone dysregulation, and more. Swapping these chemicals for safer ones will save the U.S. well over $300 billion annually and ameliorate many of America's biggest problems. How can Maha leverage? How can we leverage Maha and RFK to stop this catastrophic poisoning of America?
Now, here's the other thing: if this is the local cuckoo,
right?
You know, of some
It's
small town somewhere, suburbia.
I'm watching Tim.
So I've heard RFK talk about atrazine multiple times. I don't know what he's doing. I'm not really the Maha guy, to be honest with you. I'm not super up to speed on what.
This is a herbicide.
Atrazine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
the, that's the
it's
turn in the
sprayed
frogs game.
on Frogs game, crops?
Yeah.
Turns the freaking frogs.
Makes the frogs gay.
Is it sprayed on crops?
It makes them trans.
Yeah, it transes the frogs.
Okay, I mean, this didn't happen because of atrazine. Like, is that what
This
you're
didn't.
implying?
Well, it's causing a lot of the mental health crisis. It's causing a lot of the things that's making America sick. And
I mean, I'm not really.
this
I'm not
can
disputing,
make everyone better.
I'm not disputing that in and of itself. I'm just saying that's such a diversion from the subject at hand.
It is non sequitur to Kirk.
Yeah.
But it belies the load that everybody's under in a depressed, depressed.
A better question
society.
is about big pharma. A better question is like the psychiatric drugs people are on, and in reference to trans shooters, the mental effects of the hormones they're on.
Wow.
But,
Well, this stuff is causing.
atrazine
I
and,
think it's
like,
pretty likely that this stuff is causing the gender dysphoria and causing a lot of the trans epidemic.
I don't
In
know. I think
Gen
that's
Z, we're
insane.
seeing a huge
Yeah,
spike.
the thing about atrazine is that the issue you're referring to typically is in the Midwest around the Illinois area and doesn't have the same effect.
Your gun?
Because one thing about it, I don't pay me big. You gonna pay me big. You gonna pay me now. Now, because one thing about it, I don't play with no mother. Don't touch me.
Oh, the gun went off. She pointed it right at his face.
I don't play with a motherfucking man. A man is not gonna pay me. You gonna pay with me big. You gonna pay with me big.
Sheesh.
Be this weird emphasis on taking the moral high ground and that you are somehow a better person if you're like, I feel bad for his family. This is the world he wanted and the world he was building. This is a white supremacist who wanted both of us dead. He was shot in the middle of saying something transphobic about trans people. And yet you want to have sympathy.
Transphobia is
for
not
him.
a real
You
thing.
don't
Number one, you guys are mentally sick. Yeah, I said you guys. They are transporting Charlie Kirk's casket.
your reasoning on how he deserved it. God bless America? Yeah, you're right. God bless America. And freedom of speech is real. You're correct.
It absolutely is.
But shooting a gun at someone and killing them isn't a form of freedom of speech like you said it is.
Oh, I never said that.
You did. You said that you're glad that he got shot because it's freedom of speech in America.
God bless America.
Then say it again, so I can have it on video,
God bless
so that
America.
I can rewatch and
God bless
re-listen.
America.
God bless America.
If you disagree with that, then
You need God, my sir.
And I say friend, it's sort of a loose use of the word friend. I mean, Charlie and I hung out with Charlie probably 4 times, but it would be like at an event, at a Turning Point USA event, I'd see him and we'd got along so good. And then he was on our show, Timcast IRL with Vosh, and we did a debate. We did our Timcast IRL show at Turning Point with Charlie on stage. And it was so more of an acquaintance, but the kind of guy where, like, you know, when you meet somebody and you really vibe, whether or not you hang out a lot with that person, you're like, this is the kind of person where if we were stuck in a room together for 10 days, we'd get along extremely well. That was Chuck, man. It's the kind of guy where, like, it didn't matter, one, if he didn't understand you, because he could see genius, and this is whoever, in other people. He could see intelligence in other people, whether or not he understood what they were saying or not. He could still tell that there was value. Like, some people, when they see other people talking, like, in a different language, they're not making any sense, those idiots. And, like, you realize, like, he was very aware of his own ignorance and his own ability to be ignorant, and that made him an exceptional conversationalist, Chuck. And I'm just kind of letting it out. I don't know. I didn't have any plans about this video, but I had a dream about Charlie last night. He got killed yesterday, you know. If you probably know what I'm talking about. He got assassinated live at his event. I say live because it was televised. Took it in the neck, and afterwards, I was like, I think the Catholic Church should canonize him. I don't know how that works. I'm not Catholic. I'm not even a Christian officially. I don't adhere to that faith. I believe in a lot of the morals, which is why Charlie and I got along so well.
I agree, but they won't.
Doing a debate, Christianity versus agnosticism, and I just thought, he's so busy, I haven't heard back from him yet. But, like,
I wish the Catholic Church would.
Together, and I'd be saying the craziest shit. Like, I believe you'll be talking about spirits and God and energy and vibrations, and I'd look at him and he'd just be like smiling at, like, yeah, keep going, even if he had no idea what I was saying, or like he knew that I was being honest. He could tell that I was being honest, and that was all he cared about, was that I was honestly, openly discussing my beliefs, and then I would listen. That I would listen to him.
How many people truly have been honest?
And elevate him.
May I take it? Done?
In that moment, so that I could, steel man his take on things.
Yeah.
I always liked him.
He seems like an awesome dude. Feels darker without him, doesn't it?
That, literally the Catholic Church canonizing him is kind of an extreme. It just crossed my mind last time. Like, when was the last time the Catholic Church canonized a guy and made a guy a saint? I don't know. But also, if they did that now, it'd be so divisive. It'd drive people. So maybe in 20 or 30 years or something, or 10, 5 years, I don't know. But usually after society kills a great person out of some sort of bloodlust or anger, they realize it later, like Socrates, and then they build statues of him, and that's what they're doing to Charlie.
For sure. I think Charlie deserves a very big memorial.
We're in September with Matthew's day 10, and we're going to be going over chapter 10 in Matthew's. But before we get into chapter 10, I want to say sorry to Charlie Kirk's family for their loss, because Charlie was a good man. I used to watch his videos, and he used to just preach the gospel. and tell the truth about Jesus Christ. And I'm so sorry for their loss. And I hope the Lord.
Horrible take, man. Yeah, it really is. All right, what's going on here?
Very, very old. Very, very good in Sheamus's style. Some would say Sheamus stole from him.
You got to come back.
Right on.
Bunch of hooligans.
We'll figure it out, man. But thanks for calling in.
Bunch of hooligans making TikToks.
All right. I don't know what this video is. Raymond posted this.
That's what this assassin wanted us. Like, that's what he wants the nation to take away from this, is terror, is fear, is the sense that, you know, you can't speak out, you can't be in a public place, you can't just have political disagreements. And listen, I'm not going to mince words. Like, I genuinely found some of Charlie Kirk's views to be vile and abhorrent. No one, like, that doesn't mean you murder some. I mean, it's horrific. Exactly. Because once these things are on the table, that's the thing that's terrifying too, is like,
holy shit, she said violent, abhorrent.
I think she said vile and abhorrent.
Is that what you said?
What he wants.
Okay.
What he can't just have political disagreements. And listen, I'm not going to mince words. Like, I genuinely found some of Charlie Kirk's views to be vile and abhorrent.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought you said violent.
No.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Raymond was concerned about it, but let's, what do we got? Sir Jack Hoff. What's up?
Oh, yeah. Long time listener. Well, my question's for the panel. With Gen Z moving to the right and Charlie's death, what type of impact will we see culturally and politically coming from Gen Z, and will this maybe be remembered as my generation's MLK kind of moment?
Now, on behalf of Gen Z, I would like to speak. No, I'll throw it to you guys.
Well, it's not Gen Z moving to the right, sadly. It's Gen Z men, and that's a good thing. But I'm seeing all of the Gen Z women celebrating this and dancing in celebration on TikTok. So it's really Gen Z men.
Going to look at some of the interesting users on, you would never believe it, Blue Sky. That's right. And I don't know how this keeps happening, but yesterday, after Charlie Kirk was brutally murdered, he was shot in the throat, bled out on stage in front of everybody, including his own family and his children. The number of people in the games industry who decided to go on to social media, particularly Blue Sky. A lot of these people, you have to understand that many of these people have already been run off of Twitter because there's a level of discourse and negativity that they can't really deal with. So the only place that they can really exist is on effectively a reservation like Blue Sky, where their opinions are protected and they're allowed to be vitriolic and nobody's allowed to tell them that they're wrong. Well, that's why we're making this video. We're going to be looking at some of the different people that, after the death of Charlie Kirk, decided to, and I'm not really going to be going through, everybody is going to draw the line at a different place. Here's where I draw the line. I personally have a big problem with people that are celebrating him being killed. I don't have a big deal if somebody says I don't like him or I never liked him or something like that. But for the people that are celebrating for him being killed, advocating for future violence, and saying that it's a good thing, I think that's what crosses the line for me. And I think that's what crosses the line for any reasonable, normal person. And so anyway, we're going to go through a number of people. And the first thing I wanted to start out with today is that maybe you guys remember this from the beginning of the year. It was a big content year, I would say that. And people might have forgotten, but there is a person who decided to advocate for killing your local MAGA. This was a Blizzard employee. And I want to say that after the video that I made on him and a lot of other people made on him, this person lost their job and effectively has ruined their life. And I want nothing more than for the exact same thing to happen to the people in this video too. So I hope that after you guys see these individuals and you see what they're advocating for, you'll be able to go out and tell their employer, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not comfortable funding a video game that is employing people that are advocating for the brutal murder of a person in front of their family. And it's absolutely insane, but it's also not surprising. And so anyway, we're going to go through some of these. Obviously, I put out a post about this before. This was yesterday. If you guys want to make a list, and this is something, I'll go ahead and just contextualize it all. So there's several game developers that are liking posts that are people mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination. We'll look at pretty much who these people are. We'll start off with this. These are people, Dennis. Let's look at this, and this is also on Blue Sky. I'm 6'5" and Vans, Blue Sky Social, sound effects associate at Bungie. So Bungie, you know the game that's trying to make Marathon. I guess they were too busy. Well, he's doing sound effects, not visual effects. So maybe he actually has to do his job rather than just copy pasting something off of Twitter. But anyway, you've got somebody like this who's advocating for, and again, people might think that it's not a big deal. Oh, well, these people aren't making these statements themselves. These people aren't really saying anything that is that extreme. Here's the reason why it's a big problem. The reason why is because it creates an ecosystem and an environment where the actual extremism and the actual radical behavior is feeling comfortable. It feels comfortable in an environment where you have this blasé, passive acceptance of it, and you have people that are just basically complicit with it, but they're not openly saying it. They're just privately doing it, or they're just privately voicing their support as well. And well, I guess in this case, it's not private anymore, is it? And so anyway, we have a associate producer at Bungie who is liking and promoting tweets that are celebrating the death of a person being shot in the neck in front of their family and bleeding out profusely on the stage in front of millions of people. Eli. And so good job, Bungie.
Gabe's still going to get changed, buddy. He's coming back. Mom's asleep. Don't go upstairs. Eli. He went upstairs. He went upstairs, I think. I think he's trying to talk to Mom. Try to get him back down here. Might have to sleep. I'm listening. You sleep out there? Yeah. I can get him. Can't carry him though.
If he listens, good.
Okay, Bobby. I love you. Night, kiddo.
Really good winners you've got here. I can't wait to play Marathon. I thought that my expectations for the game couldn't be lower, but somehow Dennis has managed to fulfill, or exceed those expectations, you could say. I've got another one also. Kelly, senior producer at Sucker Punch, amateur cosplay armor, D&D enjoyer, source of corgi pics, they and she. Okay. So we have also, and you're going to see this word, this term, sucker punch, a number of times. We're not talking about the action, but we are talking about the company. This is the company that makes the game, or that is making the game, Ghosts of Yotai. Ghosts of Yotai, and this is also important to keep in mind, is that the voice actress for the game, for the character itself, has gone multiple times on record making the most deranged, stupid comments like defunding the police. She's just your typical, like, libtard, insaniac, moron, retard, right? It's not really that complicated. But what it really indicates is that there's a culture in this company, and there's a culture in this environment where this type of radical, violent behavior and language is normalized. You have multiple people at the company that are all saying these things, and we're going to get to the other ones too. This is another person here also that works at the company, and so you can see right here, obviously this is them retweeting or posting something that they did with the game, and then right after that, I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back. And I've been noticed that Twitter has noticed me from the, I've been told that Twitter has noticed me from the, across the room. Well, we certainly have. We absolutely have. And I think that these kinds of comments are absolutely disgusting. This is a person that works at a massive game company, and they're openly advocating for, on public platforms, and promoting and celebrating the murder of a random person. This is disgusting. It's really disgusting. And in my opinion, I don't think that it should be tolerated. And that's the reason why I'm making this video. I think that everybody should try to message anybody that works at this company, anybody who, like any sort of PR, any management, anything like that. Let them know that you don't want to support a company that employs people that celebrate the murder of innocent people just for exchanging ideas. This is a disgusting, disgusting thing to do. And you can see also, and I think this is a systemic problem at the company itself, whenever you have three people, the voice actress and then these two other people that are also doing this, I think that it's very obvious that this company has been infected with the same kind of moral rot that many other video game companies have unfortunately been affected by. And so you have also Zibs, they, them, always a very good indicator of mental awareness and normality. A producer at Magic the Gathering. So this person works at, I'm assuming, Wizards of the Coast. And they're working at Magic the Gathering Arena. Previously also at, wow, what are the what are the odds of that? What a coincidence. And so what you've got here This is, again, another person who is celebrating this type of violent behavior. And I think that, again, people need to make their voices known and make them heard that this is just simply not acceptable. This is not normal. This is not what average people want. We don't want to have people that are openly making statements and calls to violence like this, or celebrating calls to violence or actual violence like this, making our products. It's disgusting. And I know that some people would maybe consider and say, well, this is something that could be a little bit like cancel culture. And I want to say that it absolutely is. 100% is. The fact is that these are the same types of people who would lie about you and make up things about you and try to destroy your career and destroy your reputation for disagreeing with them on something political. But now whenever it's happening to them, they're the victims. Well, if you want to be the victim, it's time to earn it. I think also, here's another thing, is that if you work at one of these companies and you have one of these individuals that works at your company, you do have a recourse to this, and that's calling and talking to HR. Because the fact is that HR does not operate in your best interest, and it doesn't operate in their best interest either. It operates in the best interest of the company. And when you have people that are making public statements and calls to violence and celebrating violence like that, they're creating a hostile and an unsafe work environment. And anybody who works in HR, or anybody who works inside of any sort of corporate environment, will tell you that that's something that just can't exist in a corporate environment. There's a reason why we have levels of decorum, and there are some levels of HR that make sense. And so if you work at one of these companies and you have a person like this doing it, make sure to talk to HR and let them know how uncomfortable you feel that there's a person who's working at your company who might want to advocate to have you killed because you disagree with them. Tell them that it makes you afraid to come into work. Tell them that, you don't know, maybe you're going to file a lawsuit. You feel unsafe at your workplace. And honestly, here's the important thing. You should feel unsafe, because these people would justify violence against anybody who disagrees with them. And just because you think you know them doesn't mean they wouldn't do the exact same thing to you. And this is them. This is the game that they're making right here. And you can see that they've made no statement about this. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. If these people made a degrading comment towards the trans community, for example, or towards the black community, for example, do you think Sucker Punch would have immediately fired them and made a statement? I think so, absolutely. But for some reason, these people are protected. And the reason why they're protected is because there's a lot of other ones at the company that feel the exact same way that they do. That's the only logical reason that I have. And I think that at a certain point, Sony or somebody needs to step in. Whoever owns this company needs to step in and root out this disease before it kills the entire company. Because I do think that it will have a tremendously negative effect on the game. And you can see this right here. This is a post that Sony made. I guess it was a couple of days ago about Ghosts of Yotai, and you can see 1,000 comments on this. Your senior dev at Sucker Punch is a violent leftist, etc. And these are more comments here. Never let up the pressure. Never, ever, ever do that. Keep this pressure up until these people lose their jobs. And then after they lose their jobs, then take a break, relax, pat yourself on the back, wait for them to get another one, and then do it again. And that's the only way that you should treat these animals. And that's exactly what they are. You shouldn't view them as people. You shouldn't view them as a person with a political disagreement from you. These are violent animals that are trying to destroy the last good thing that we have, which is the open ideas of political discourse. And they're celebrating murdering people for doing it. And as soon as that starts happening, I don't want to know what's next. And the worst thing is that I already do. And I think you do too. And so anyway, we've got more of these. Here's Resignation is not enough for me. I hope he tanks the studio. And Cowards Keep Quiet. The studio deserves to go under. I understand why a lot of people at these companies don't speak up, which is why I suggest that if you work at one of these companies, please make sure to go to HR. Go to HR and file these complaints legitimately with them. There are certain legal things that they have to do, and in some cases, these people will pretty much lose their job for sure if enough people are discussing it. And you have also some people make comments like this. It's wild how the woke right, like Asmongold, Grums and others, showing themselves to be what they hate, authoritarian freaks that want to censor and silence anybody they despise. Yeah, I do. I do. I think that anybody who's advocating for killing people over speech like this should be censored. Absolutely. And this is just normal. Absolutely. I don't... There's this trick that a lot of people like this like to play, which is they try to use your own language and use your own morality against you. These people don't care about freedom of speech. They don't care about censorship. They don't care about any of that. They're simply trying to weaponize your values and use them against you in order for them to fulfill their own goals. And so every time that they try to make an appeal to your own values, you should ask yourself, do they hold these values? And if the answer is no, then you shouldn't take it seriously, because this person is simply trying to use your values to subvert you and take advantage of you and to push their own agenda and to hurt you. And so never listen to this, never play into this game, never even acknowledge that that there's any validity to it at all. These people don't care about freedom of speech. The only time they bring it up is whenever they're trying to co-opt the person who does care about freedom of speech and make that person act against their own best interest. But anyway, we've got also, this is me, as well as put out the call for finding game devs mocking, and there's another one here. This is the voice actor for Diluc in Genshin Impact. I hope they receive the same care that the average American citizen would get in the same situation. Really? So they're just going to fall down and die. Somebody gets shot in the neck like that with their blood like spurting out. There's no health care. You're not coming back from that, at least not anytime soon with the medical care that we have now. And so anyway, Lisa came out, Lisa goes out doing what he loved, being a bigot. Yeah, of course you have more comments like this, more people like this. And if shoot police go if it's permanent, every post you make goes out to the public firehouse, captured by someone somewhere. The delete button doesn't do what you think it does. And so anyway, we have a lot of people, obviously, that are starting to say stuff, live by something. So she's obviously trying to make a statement of live by the sword, die by the sword. This is what, and I think that this is a very revealing statement, and I think this is going to be the last comment that I'm going to look at here, is that this statement's actually extremely revealing, because what it's saying is that from her perspective, living by the sword is the same as being killed. Speaking out and being able to, express your opinion on certain things should be met with the equivalence of deadly force. And that's really what these people want. They want to bully, push, fight, and if it comes down to it, kill you if you disagree with them. And that's why whenever somebody does do something insane like this, all of these people try to do mental gymnastics about why it was somehow justified, normalized, okay, acceptable, or something one way or another. The fact is that, live by the debate, die by a gunshot wound in the throat. No, I don't really think that makes a lot of sense, does it? But it doesn't sound as good as these, vapid, Yas Queen comments that people like her make on Blue Sky that have absolutely no pushback because they're on their own protected reservation away from anybody whose opinions could be different than their own. And that's the reason, and also those are the only people that are still left on the platform. And soon, if with enough effort and enough work, we can have enough of these people removed from our media, removed from our public discourse, and removed from any sort of positions of power where they can exercise their completely maladjusted, totally deranged viewpoints and worldview. And so anyway, I want to let you know that this is definitely not the only amount of them that there are. I'm sure there's plenty more. And so if you want to express and show any of these other people and you want to post one of their comments or anything like that, I would recommend anybody to go on over to Roach Ranch. This is a comment right here. Community right here that I made on Twitter. I do not really moderate this at all. And if you guys want to post the different public comments that are being made by these different developers or these different people that are working in media celebrating this, and collectively we can contact their employers, contact the people that are around them, and have them get fired from their job. And do not, for even a second, think that this is not fair. It is absolutely fair. These people have been doing it to people like me for the better part of 5 years, and it's time the shoe goes on the other foot. They're disgusting, they're celebrating violence, and there shouldn't be any space for this in any sort of a polite society. But yeah, anyway, crazy things going on over at Sucker Punch Productions. Really, really crazy stuff. You know, with that many weirdos and freaks working at the company, I wonder what this game's going to be like. I kind of don't want to know, but I kind of do. I think it'll be great content, but for all the wrong reasons. So anyway, guys, that's about all I've got for today. I did promise I would go through all of this, and we've gone through all of this. So thank you all very much. I really appreciate you watching.
As Charlie Kirk once said, you can tell a lot about a person by how they react when someone dies. Well, the someone who died, in this case, is Charlie Kirk, and some of the people who are reacting are Sneako and his fans. After news broke that Charlie Kirk had been shot during a public debate at Utah Valley University, Sneako posted, "Prayers for Charlie Kirk and peace in America." Guess how Sneako's Muslim fans reacted to his call for prayers for Charlie Kirk and peace in America? Make your prediction. Now let's see if your predictions were confirmed or disconfirmed. He's a despicable human being and a direct enemy of our religion. Praying for him is a sin. That doesn't mean we should condone or cheer on this unjust tragedy against him, and we can and should pray for his family during this time, but that's about it. Charlie Kirk was an abominable man who despised Muslims, despises our prophet, insults our prophet, and endorses the slaughter of Palestinians. He'll get no such prayers from me or from any other Muslim. I won't sit here fan the flames of a volatile situation, but I won't shed a tear for a man who grinned when the blood of our brothers was spilt. To be fair, as far as mocking Muhammad was a child-molesting, murdering rapist and the most obvious false prophet in history. So if anyone in history deserves to be mocked, it's Muhammad. It is not proper for the prophet and the believers to seek forgiveness for the polytheists, even if they were close relatives, after it has become clear to the believers that they are bound for the hellfire. Quran 9:113. He insulted Islam and supported the killings of innocent Palestinians. What made you pray for him, brother? Yeah, prayers for him to be put in deepest depths of hell. He shouldn't have been killed, and vigilantism is wrong, but I can't say I'm not happy. You donkey, he supported the killing of Muslims as well as insulted Allah and his messenger. Hey, Sneako, please don't be a prone. You are our brother. But don't pray for a non-believer because God prohibits that. He rejected to believe in God, so respect his choices and let him face what he is facing now. Don't demand from God to have mercy on the one who rejected him. As Muslim, we shouldn't pray for disbelievers. I'm trying to pray for him. Rest in hell, dear Charlie. Hey, Sneako, message Sheikh Uthman right now and ask him whether praying for a kafir, Abu Jahl of our time, is kufr or not. Better time spent than praying for someone on the same camp as Netanyahu. So, this Muslim advises Sneako to contact Sheikh Uthman to ask him if he's allowed to pray for someone like Charlie Kirk. But this is just delusional. Anyone who knows Sheikh Uthman already knows that Sheikh Uthman is just going to say whatever Sneako wants him to say because they're terrified of saying something that will cause Sneako to leave Islam. They don't want to lose access to his fans. You want to make some omelet? You got to break some eggs. My thought exactly when I'm mocking your fake prophet and you complain that I'm hurting your feelings. May Allah make me witness the horrors that he will inflict on these filthy enemies of Islam. Good riddance. May Allah put you together with him on the judgment day. My goodness, now they want Sneeko to go to hell just for praying for Charlie Kirk. He's looking up at us. Amen. Please never claim to be a Muslim again. What kind of hypocrisy is this? Who's paying you? I hope he rests well in hell. Praying he burns forever. Hope he gets tortured. I'm praying for him for a nice seat in Jahannam. Also, L Tweet brother, do better. You're a disgusting loser with no dignity. May he burn in hell. 100. Prayers that Charlie Kirk goes to hell. Muslim praying for a vocal enemy of Islam, a staunch advocate of genocide against Muslims. Surah At-Tawbah 113. It is not proper for the Prophet and the believers to seek forgiveness for the polytheists, even if they were close relatives. Pray for Charlie? For what? Burn well in hell? And the Warner replies, I pray that he burns in the hellfire forever. He is an enemy of Islam and an enemy Allah. That last one probably hit Sneeko hardest because the Warner is Sneeko's Dawa buddy. They go around preaching Islam together, even though, as all these responses show, Sneeko still doesn't understand Islam at all. Here are Sneeko's thoughts on this after Charlie Kirk died.
You know, it's so weird. I was walking into the 9/11 museum, and after we went through security, Banks called me. He's like, yo, check Twitter. Charlie Kirk got shot. And like, they were playing the trumpets and all the flags were there. And people were like, you know, doing a memorial for 9/11. It felt like being at his funeral.
Today what happened, well, just now, I mean, an hour ago, Trump announced that Charlie Kirk passed away. And I just want to start by saying rest in peace to him and rest in peace, Charlie. And although we have political differences, or we could disagree with people and have conversations, I disagreed so much with Charlie Kirk, rest his soul. I didn't agree with a lot of what he said. Some of the stuff I think was good and valuable, but regardless, like anybody who's celebrating his death is in the wrong. You know, you should be able to disagree with people and have conversations.
So many pro-Palestine people saying that I shouldn't pray for him because you disagreed with them. What's wrong with you? You think God wants you to celebrate his death? You think God doesn't want you to pray for his soul? Do you want me to jump up and down in joy because I disagreed with him and then he was shot in front of a crowd? I've seen it in the love speech community, in a community called Love Speech. And I was hiding some of the posts myself. People saying you're smoking on his pack, celebrating his death. This is a father. The world is not going to be better off because Charlie Kirk was assassinated. To see people, we're not the same. It's an evil mentality and you're not going to convince me otherwise. Anybody saying that I completely disavow, and I don't want you to be a part of anything I do.
When it comes to having genuine concern, even for people he disagrees with on fundamental issues, Sneeko actually thinks like a Christian. Jesus said in Matthew 5, or as Sneeko would call it, Matt 5, you have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? And if you greet only your own people, what are you doing more than others? Do not even pagans do that? Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. Jesus ordered his followers to love their enemies and to pray for them. Sneeko obviously agrees, but Islam doesn't, which is strange because all the Muslims telling Sneeko that he can only wish death and destruction upon his enemies are the same Muslims who tell us that they respect Jesus.
Yep.
Guess what? Sneeko's Muslim fans have no more respect for Jesus than they have for Charlie Kirk. I just wonder how much more obvious they need to make it before Sneeko finally understands.
Yep.
Prayers for Sneeko and for peace in America.
Sneeko might find truth. I saw the video. Hmm.
Listen, how do you play with glasses on all day?
I just close my eyes. Yes. And then sometimes when I do open my eyes, guess what? I'm in a top 10 situation. Let me go ahead and try and win this game.
Right.
Sure. But that is a common question that I get all the time. And if I, let's just be straight up honest, I can't see shit. Okay.
Really?
But Google's working on some new prototype scopes with built-in LCD, LED, 1080 PD, 3D,
Right.
Sony technology built all into it, right? Upgraded edition.
So what you're looking at is a little screen.
Yeah.
That just it projects what's outside.
Exactly.
Seems a little counterintuitive, but hey, it's Google.
Yeah, and between you and I, aim assist, bead hacks, and stuff like that.
Yes. Cool. Listen, how do you play with these?
We at Nintendo are continuing our lawsuit against Palworld and are introducing a new patent, the game mechanic of summoning characters or creatures to fight other characters or creatures.
What? So, let me get this straight. Nintendo will be the only gaming company that will be able to make games where you can summon creatures to fight other creatures.
Yes, exactly.
That is insane! You do realize that this is going to impact other games and properties like Terraria, Bakugan, Beyblade, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and many more, right? There are so many other games that use this mechanic. You can't just come in and say you own it.
Well, we wouldn't have gone to these lengths if it weren't for Palworld.
It doesn't matter. This is obviously a huge abuse of patent law. This would be like if Call of Duty sued Battlefield since it uses a lot of the same mechanics and are both first-person shooters. It's not fair, and it hurts creativity in the gaming industry.
We at Nintendo are continuing our lawsuit.
You truly believe there's two genders?
Wait, hold on. I gotta process this question because it's that easy? That's it? It's only two genders, of course, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're playing a character in your videos about certain things that you believe in or not.
Yeah, white lie, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I also used to be a man trapped in a woman's body.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and that was born.
You truly believe that.
What state is farthest from the ocean?
What state is farthest from the ocean? I'm going to go right in the middle of, let's see, Dayton, Ohio. Ohio.
No, not Ohio.
What is it?
It'd have to be like Hawaii.
It's right in the middle of the ocean.
Utah.
No.
Missouri.
No.
Right in the middle,
Montana.
Canada. Wait, no, Canada. No, that's a count.
Okay.
Ohio?
No.
Because there's lakes up there. Where they're legal light on?
North Dakota. No, so close.
No.
Kansas or Nebraska? I'm gonna go Kansas.
No, number 2 is Kansas.
Damn. Nebraska.
No.
You sure, Kansas?
No.
Wait,
It's Kansas second.
Idaho.
No, not bad though.
Minnesota.
No.
Minnesota.
No.
Wisconsin. It's not.
No.
Yep, I know.
Minnesota.
No.
Is that a really bad guess?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Iowa.
No.
All right.
The furthest point in the United States from any gulf or ocean is called the Pole of Inaccessibility, and that is in Allen, South Dakota, which is 1,030 miles from any gulf or ocean.
What state is farthest from the
Biba. Yeah.
I'd also be remiss if I did not acknowledge why that flag is at half-staff. We lost an incredible American today, a dear friend of mine. If you knew him, you love him. His name is Charlie Kirk. Taken by an assassin's bullet, unfathomable. The only assurance I can take is that I know he is with his Lord and Savior right now. He has heard the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant," as I know many of you will hear. And I didn't quite know what to do after that news with the rest of the day, but I know what felt fitting was to definitely come here and be with all of you. Not media, not anything. Just you don't do this for media. You don't do this for recognition. You do this because you love your countries and your communities in quiet ways that a lot of people don't understand. And so being here with you, with people who give so much, who put their lives at risk, and their families know it, is exactly where I should be and where we should all be. So if you would, bow your head with me and join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I'd also be remiss if I did not acknowledge
holy crap, we might actually have a little bit of justice when it comes to the crazies, especially in Canada, that have been acting insane in terms of Charlie Kirk's death, people that are celebrating it. It's a problem. It was a problem when President Donald Trump got shot in the ear. Thankfully, he survived, and you had radicals all over that were just going insane, celebrating and then sad about it. And now you have people, you've seen all the videos and TikTok dances of people happy that this happened immediately after it happened, and still now.
Yeah. It's still kind of tough. Still kind of angering. Oh, this guy's hilarious.
She's not right for you, Charles. What? No, it's not because she's your cousin. It's because she's a common whore. Yep. I've never gotten syphilis. Well, I mean, of course I've gotten chlamydia. I'm not superhuman. I've made it to the greatest city in the world. Marblehead, Massachusetts. My wife died 3 months ago. Wow, news really does travel quick these days. Ooh, I stubbed my toe. Now they're gonna have to amputate my whole foot! Oh, what, now we just gotta stand here and let him shoot at us? Yep, he was hanged to death. I mean, he did ride an unregistered mule on Sunday, so... He's not right for you, Charles!
Sometimes I think that the media is hard on Trump, because I'll see shit that they get on him about that doesn't seem bad to me. I mean, he got on Trump about not staying in the White House enough. Gives a f***. This motherfucker was rich. He's in the gold toilet. It's true. I don't know if you've ever been to the White House. It looks like a very nice place to work, but I wouldn't want to live in that Scooby-Doo ass house either. That's terrifying looking. Imagine you trying to jerk off in the crib and Abraham Lincoln's just looking at you like... Bush didn't stay there either. He was rich too. He was like, fuck that, I'm going to my ranch in Texas. Obama was the first motherfucker to move into the White House like, this is a nice place. Look at this rug. The media got on him about putting Jared Kushner in his cabinet, and I didn't think that that was the worst thing he'd done. I mean, it was still early, and I mean, it's not unprecedented. Kennedy had his brother as the attorney general, right? And some motherfucker was a Washington outsider. To be honest with you, I'd probably do the same thing. As a matter of fact, I do. You think I go to a Hollywood meeting with all them white folks by myself? I bring my Mac Mittens from the streets. I don't even know his real name. Everybody just calls him Mac Mittens. But I know he's not qualified to even listen to these meetings, but this motherfucker just makes me feel good. And all the white people look at me like, Dave, do you mind asking your friend Mac Mittens to excuse us so that we can talk business? And I say, fuck that. Anything you say to me, Mac Mittens can hear that. He listened to the whole meeting. When they done talking, I just look over at Mac Mittens, and if he gives me the signal, meow, meow, I'll sign the papers. Well, how about this one? Remember when it was the day after the election, and the president of Taiwan called Donald Trump to congratulate him, and Donald Trump, you know, of course, took the call and talked to the president of Taiwan. Problem with that was Taiwan doesn't have a president. The United States functions on what they call a one China policy, and Taiwan is a renegade province of said China. And Donald Trump didn't know that and picked up the phone and started yammering away, and the media ate his ass up. And I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing like shit. I was like, oh, shit, this dumb motherfucker is in trouble. And then that night, I was in bed drifting off to sleep, and then I had to admit it to myself. I was like, I didn't know that shit either. The story wasn't that Donald Trump took the call. The biggest story is that nobody told Donald Trump not to take the call. That's terrifying. God damn, nigga, you don't have a Mac Mittens on your team? It wasn't like they were calling the White House. They were calling the switchboard at Trump Towers, and they were getting through. Anybody. Mr. President, there's a Ricky Ticky Tabby on the phone for you? Yes, put him through. Hello, Ricky Ticky. Good to talk to you. Mr. President, there's a John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith on the phone. Oh, his name is my name, too. Put him through. Sometimes I think that the media is hard on Trump.
Plenty of astronauts freak out in space. They've tried to kill their whole crew before. There was a lock put on the space shuttle door. Somebody tried to open the hatch more than once and take everybody out. There's a lock on the Dragon space capsule for that reason. It's happened to Russian cosmonauts. It's happened to American astronauts. And this is during a time when most of the American astronauts were the best of the best coming out of the military. It is a unique environment, and that stressor has caused people to crack. So that's the psychology of it. When you're in low Earth orbit, you're 90 minutes from being on a helicopter ride to a cheeseburger, and people have cracked in space. When you're on the moon, you're 2.5 days from coming home. And when you're on Mars, you could be anywhere from 6 to 9 months to well over a year before you can come home. When you're in low Earth orbit, you look out your window, you see big Earth. When you're on the moon, it's still the blue marble. When you're on Mars, it's a blue speck in the sky. We're gonna have psychological issues to deal with when you send humans to that environment, and then you're gonna have physiological issues, which is we didn't evolve to be in sub 1G. All the things that make us who we are gonna be highly problematic on journeys in space, and we gotta figure that out. Plenty of astronauts freak out in space. They've tried to kill their whole crew.
Sheesh. What did the Apologetics Canada say?
Well, welcome back to the AC Podcast. My name is Andy Steiger, and I am joined today with Wesley Huff. Good to be with you, Wes.
Always a pleasure.
It's good to be with you, but these are not great circumstances. It's a pretty dark moment, actually, in history, but just in culture in general right now. It's 9/11 as we're recording this podcast, and so it's again a reminder of the horrific events that took place in New York 24 years ago. And I'll always remember that because my wife and I, Nancy, got married just a few days before 9/11, and then we were midway into our, we were just starting to head off into our honeymoon when 9/11 happened and got stuck in Houston for a couple of days. But I mean, in some ways, it's kind of crazy to think like it's already been 24 years since that
There's
event
a generation
took place.
that doesn't even know about it.
On recording this podcast, it was yesterday that two terrible events took place in the United States. On September 10th, you had a school shooting that took place, I believe it was in Denver, and you had the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And
Oh, I'm sorry. There was a ball on your seat.
That even is happening on the heels of another terrible event that took place in Charlotte with the stabbing and death of that young girl from the Ukraine, Irina, I believe is how you say her name. And there's just been a lot of brokenness going on. There's a lot of hurt. A lot of people are feeling it. I don't know about you, Wes, but I definitely am. You and I were in a staff meeting when the news on Charlie Kirk broke. And Wes, like, I don't know, like, about you, but I just felt a weight, just a heaviness when I heard about yet another tragedy, and particularly this one. How did it hit you?
Yeah, I mean, it just felt heavy. I think, I mean, there are a number of levels to, I think, the weightiness of it. He's so young. And I think, 31-year-olds should never pass away under any circumstances, never mind be murdered. And so that just feels just tragic. It feels like a loss of someone in their prime. And he's a dad. Like, his kids are 1 and 3, and my kids are 2 months, 2, 4, and 6. And I can't even fathom a wife who just lost her husband having to tell kids that young that their dad's not coming home. Like, I can't fully wrap my head around what that feels like or what that takes or any
I
of
wouldn't
that.
even want to.
No, and it's just like the public nature of the assassination. There were thousands of people at that event.
Well, and then millions online.
Online. And there's just and added with that, Andy, you and I are public figures. And although I don't go into any event thinking I could die, it just brings up these kind of thoughts in your head of that's not out of the realm of possibility. It's a very low possibility, right? But just the fact that it happened to someone in a public setting who is a public individual who likewise, he's far more of a political individual than we are. And so that there are added complexities that come with that. But there's something about it that feels a little bit close to home. Yeah. And just feels like, I know there have been some comments online that was like, well, why are so many people commenting on this tragedy as opposed to other tragedies? And I think it's the public nature of it. It's the circumstances surrounding it. I don't think we're obligated to comment on every tragedy that happens, every, loss, every murder, every war. But I think there are particular moments that stand out. And I think this will be one. Yeah. I think this will be a moment that will be remembered differently.
Big moment in history.
No, I agree with you. I think it'll be remembered differently, maybe for each person, of course, even something like 9/11 for different reasons. One is these sorts of tragedies hit us in different ways depending upon how we relate to them. And then secondly, just given what's going on in culture at large. But I agree with you, Wes. This really hit me as somebody who does a lot of speaking engagements and does a lot of public speaking engagements in various venues, this is something that more and more we have to deal with, and that is, the risk that you're taking. If you've never been on a stage in front of thousands of people, and just the vulnerability of this act of doing that, it's unnerving, and it's becoming more and more unnerving. I mean, Wes, have you ever had it too, where you'll have people even videoing you and doing various things at these speaking engagements? And I mean, you've even had police that are at these speaking engagements as well, providing security and stuff like that. I've only had that a little bit, not a lot, but it kind of weighs on you, because you feel, especially with this one hit, I feel like I really felt the weight of it, going, oh man, this is just a nightmare for anybody who does public speaking, but a nightmare for this family, for this organization. Just the level of tragedy in this, I think goes really, really deeply, especially for those that can resonate with this. I mean, it's kind of like when you have a school shooting. I'm sure that school shootings are going to hit teachers, principals, more than the general public.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that makes sense. I think it's perfectly reasonable to feel the closeness of something, and it hit different than something that may be a little bit more broad. And I think there was the attempt on Donald Trump's life. I can't remember, was that like a year ago, 2 years ago, kind of thing?
Yeah, two attempts.
And I think that doesn't hit as hard as this, because Donald Trump survived, and so I think it kind of it's easier to for the news cycle to move on, because although you would never want that event to happen, an attempt on someone's life, the fact that he did survive, and that Charlie Kirk is so much younger. I mean, the solace in all of this is that I think it's pretty clear that Charlie was a believer, that he did have a genuine faith in God. In fact, there have been a number of clips that I've seen floating around social media of him professing his faith. Mm-hmm. In fact, I believe he actually articulated in the first question at this particular event kind of a semi-gospel presentation immediately before the question that he was answering when he was shot. And but I saw a clip that was floating around that literally someone said, I just got shot. I have 30 seconds to live. What would you say to me? And what Charlie Kirk said was, you're about to encounter eternal judgment. And so there's only one way to face that. And it's not the good things you've done. It's not your moral scorecard, but it's whether you have Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And I think, agree or disagree with so many things he said politically, that is an authentic proclamation of a truth that is truth with a capital T.
Absolutely. Does it also hit different that, Charlie had actually reached out to us recently, and I think you even had a conversation with him?
Yeah, I did. I was looking over those emails this morning, and it just felt weird. I don't really know another way to describe it. Charlie had reached out through his organization, Turning Point USA, and particularly Turning Point Faith, had reached out to me about potentially collaborating. There were a number of events that were happening both in Canada and the United States, and so they were just connecting with me. But then in May, Charlie, through a mutual friend of the ministry, he got connected with us, and he just kind of expressed that he'd watched the Joe Rogan episode that I was on, and that he appreciated what I'd said and the boldness of the proclamation of the truthfulness of Christianity, and that he'd love to have me on sometime. And we had a very brief back and forth. But just to look at those emails and see his name and him communicating while he was with us, and now to know that he's no longer on this earth, is its surrealness about that. It just kind of feels strange.
Do you ever get the feeling, I think some people I've seen online and I've even talked to, where they just feel like some days it just feels like evil's winning. Mm-hmm. Some days it just feels like our world is so broken and so beyond repair. how do you respond to that, Wes?
I mean, I think it's emblematic of the fact that we do live in a world that in many ways it ought not to be like this. Right? It's a beautiful world. There's so much good in the world that we can point to. There's so much joy. And yet there's also simultaneously so much pain and suffering and hurt and turmoil and distress. And I think there's something about that should point us to God and should reveal, Jesus says in John 16 that he's going to prepare a place for us. He says that elsewhere in the gospel, but he says that he's doing those particular things so that we may have peace, because in this world we'll have trouble. But he has overcome the world. And that might sound contrite to some people, especially in the midst of pain and hurt and suffering. But I think, this is the God who ruled on his throne in eternity, and he chose to step down into humanity. That was an active, personal choice for God to do that. He did not need to do that. And so, I'm always interested in times of crisis, how we react. And, someone like Peter and Judas both denied Jesus, but in the crisis, one runs away and hangs himself, and the other is confronted with Jesus, and he runs to Jesus. And so I think these are opportunities for us to see, to acknowledge the brokenness, the evil, and the suffering, but to say, Jesus has already won, and even though we may not understand what's going on in this particular moment, we can cling to that.
Amen.
I completely agree, and I actually would encourage people to read 1 Peter. To this morning in my devotions, I was just reading from there and just reminded that Peter was writing in a time of persecution. Peter had experienced persecution. He had been arrested. His life had been threatened. He had been miraculously saved.
Times.
But yet at the same time, Jesus says, listen, in the end, you're not going to be miraculously saved. You're actually, it's going to cost you your life. And it even cost Jesus his life. And I can't help but think that there's a sobering aspect where, where we can at times feel like evil is winning. Like, I mean, I could only imagine that the disciples felt like evil had won when Jesus died. Like, it's not like he defeated evil without death. He died, and in his death, he defeated evil. And when they thought, or what they thought was loss, was actually victory. And I don't know about you, but I think sometimes we tend to want to have the victory without the death, and without the hardship. There is going to be, my point just being that there is brokenness in this world, and there's going to be brokenness in this world, but yet our hope is that there's a day coming in which all of that will be mended, reconciled.
Yeah, that everything will be made new. It is interesting to look at that early church period. Not like you have the early church period, obviously, when people like Peter are writing, but then really for the next 300 years, it's not an easy go for Christians. And yet you see this continual rallying cry of persuade, pray, serve, and suffer for the gospel.
And let me just highlight that, because one of the things that Peter says in his letter is in chapter 3, verse 12, he says, "For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayer. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil." And the reason I'm just bringing that up is because I think sometimes in the midst of persecution, our desire is want to do evil for evil, right? Like evil's been done and wanting to do evil in return. And yet the message that Jesus preached to his disciples over and over again was, that's not going to be true of you, right? I'm going to teach you how to love your enemies and how to do good, and to not fall into that trap where evil just begets evil, which begets evil.
Yeah, and you can't help but think that Jesus knew Judas was going to betray him the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus understood the evil that even was in his midst. And
It was next to him. It was at his left.
Conscious choice was to continually serve and to sacrifice. And, the Son of Man is not come to be served, but to serve. And that's our marching orders. That's what makes, a rallying cry like persuade, pray, serve, and suffer. That's what makes it so powerful. And, I was recently listening to Tom Holland was on a podcast, Tom Holland, the historian, and talking about Christianity. And he said that the crazy thing about Christianity in this period of antiquity was that not that God became a man, because there were lots of examples of the gods taking on different fleshly bodies, but that God died on a cross. And that death of a slave, of someone who had been shamed and mocked, that was what was really the scandal in the ancient world, and that Christians didn't portray that for the first 400 years. There's lots of different iterations of paintings of Jesus, but nobody was really okay with portraying Jesus on the cross while they still knew what crucifixion was, because it was they knew how terrible it was. And I think that's sometimes lost on us is how evil that would have seemed. And yet God was able to draw a straight line with a crooked stick, that the only innocent person that had ever lived was murdered. And it's the upside down nature of the Christian message,
which should of course outrage us.
Yeah.
But then the question is as well, what's the response in the midst of it? And I don't know if you've had a chance, or this is always dangerous to do, but to see what's been going on in social media with all that's been going on. What's that?
Don't do that. Never look on what's going on social media.
But there is a lot of brokenness going on out there. And one of the things that I just find interesting with this tragedy is it's one of those moments where you begin to see just how broken the culture is, just how divided the culture is, and just how much hatred is out there. I got to tell you, I find it at times overwhelming. There's just it just feels so broken, and I'm sure that the disciples felt the same way. But as Christians, how do you navigate that brokenness, and, that broken world? And I don't know about you, Wes, but I find it more and more difficult, given how divided our culture is, that you and I, even to do a podcast like this, have to go, am I going to do more harm than good to even talk about this, because it's such a political firestorm right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why Jesus in his high priestly prayer in John 17 says that he's not asking on behalf of the people who he's talking to alone, but on behalf of those who will believe in him because of his message throughout all of time, that they may be one as he and the Father are one. Mm-hmm. And that unity that, right, he says, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you sent me. And I think that's the unity that he...
Yeah, that is a good point. Always wisdom coming from Wes. There's a lot of wisdom in that, man. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
is striving for, and it's because there's so much division. There's so much polarization. If we can find something to fight about, we fight about it, right? And X, Twitter, is like, it's like the test case.
It's a good cesspool for that.
It was literally just a Bible verse on X the other day, and the discussions in the comments, assuming that they thought I was commenting on this thing or that thing, I was like, guys, it's literally just a Bible verse. Like, and ironically, it was a Bible verse about like being a nice person and all sorts of assumptions. And it's like, you can't say anything. You can't even just post a Bible verse without people arguing about, Wes really means this and he really should say this instead of that. And it's just, I mean, at face value, it's exhausting. But I think these moments should be opportunities for us to align. I mean, I was pretty young when 9/11 happened, but I have talked to a few people who were actually in New York when it took place. And what all of them say is that, for the next few days, it was actually relatively hopeful because people were they were so on the same page. Everybody wanted to help everyone else. And for a split second, the like quintessential angry New Yorker dissipated. And they wanted to be, are you okay? Did you know anybody who, how are you doing? Do you have enough food? And that kind of atmosphere. And I worry that due to social media, in times of tragedies like these, we've lost that unification that took place in times just slightly before the impact of social media. And now we use it as cannon fodder to shoot each other across the bow kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I think you would agree too that it's not just a social media, but of course that becomes a megaphone for various people, but not just individuals, but for news agencies and the like, and different organizations.
Totally. Yeah.
And so it just kind of amplifies that division, frustration. And you're absolutely right. I remember 9/11 well. And there was, it was this moment that kind of brought you more together. And I can't help it, one level too, that was because the enemy was from outside. But we more and more
on the inside with the specific party, right? And that party's been trying to defend him, and it's like
we're
it's
enemies
disgusting.
with each other, or at least that's what's being painted.
Right.
And it's easy to fall into that narrative.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, ironically, we probably have more in common with other people than not. But, the polarization of making someone else who disagrees with you on a particular topic the enemy is really dangerous, right? Like, why was Charlie Kirk assassinated? It was for his opinions. And ironically, I mean, I screenshotted an X post from a friend of the ministry, Glenn Scribner, this morning, because I thought it was really profound. He said, underneath a banner saying, "Prove me wrong," wearing a t-shirt saying "freedom," while discussing gun violence. And he didn't even finish his sentence. He even condemned criminals to get the last word in. A bullet to the throat, and he was silenced. Truly an infamous moment. And it's like, yeah, what is the irony of standing under a banner that says "Prove me wrong," wearing a t-shirt that says "freedom"? Like, man, that should just break us, because the narratives that justify thinking that someone else's opinion is violence to you, and therefore, in some sort of warped sense of self-defense, now you can take their life. Any justification for one image bearer taking another image bearer's life is it's evil. And I think that's what really breaks everybody in this moment.
I agree. One thing that I think concerns me, let me put this differently. One thing that concerns me is that people watch what's taken place and could just begin to pick sides, or think that, if it's the solution is about with one camp or one political party or whatever it might be. And man, as I think about this, and as you watch these various things going on in our culture unfold, I hope that it's clear, especially to Christians, of course, that this world has an evil problem, and that there is only one thing that solves that. There's only one thing that defeats evil, and that is Jesus, that is goodness, that is love, and that with regards to evil and evil this is what makes evil so difficult, is evil likes to masquerade as good. It likes to pretend as though, that it's not evil. And I'm sure that this shooter and the people, whoever's involved, that this shooter thought that what they were doing was right, that what they were doing was good. And that's that warped aspect of evil, and the need that we have all the more for truth, and particularly the truth of the gospel, in that at the end of the day, we need Jesus, and we need Jesus more than ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I don't know that we have more to say about this tragedy than that, but I just want to take a moment to ask Wes if you just pray. I think if there's something that we've been seeing a lot online and that we need a lot more of, is the encouragement to pray, but actually to be praying. And so, why don't we end our podcast today in prayer?
Let's do that. Lord God in heaven, we realize that we live in a beautiful yet broken world, and that despite the fact that we see so much brokenness and turmoil, help us to cling to the fact that you have done and are actively doing something about the evil that we see in the world. Lord, as we encounter crisis, help those moments to reveal where our Christ is, what we're running to when we struggle, when we are doubting or hurting. Lord, like the psalmist writes, we pray that you are our shepherd, and that we run to you and not to other things. And in moments like this, where there's just so many examples on the anniversary of the remembrance of a tragedy, and even just in the days and weeks out of tragedy, would you help us to cling to you and cling to the cross? Help us to see your face and understand that you have overcome the world, that your Son, Jesus Christ, isn't indifferent to brokenness and hurt and pain and suffering, because he experienced it, that he experienced friends' betrayal, he experienced suffering, he experienced the death of family and friends and loved ones, and he ultimately experienced abandonment and death himself. And so, in light of that, would you help us to see who Christ is and how he has delivered the solution to all of this? And that while we temporarily live on this world, we look forward to the time when all tears are wiped away from our eyes and all things are made afresh and new in the restoration of the new heavens and the new earth. But in the meantime, would you help us to pray with those who need prayer, mourn with those who mourn, rejoice with those who are rejoicing, and to share your love, our love for you and love for people, as examples and ambassadors of who your Son, Jesus Christ, is. That your word would lead us and be our guiding principle in these things, that your Spirit would be our teacher and continually helping us learn and grow, and that your greater glory would be our supreme concern in all things. We pray this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for joining us for the AC Podcast. We'll be back next week with more things to think about.
Good prayer. Very good prayer. Sad that David Wood isn't streaming tonight. Guess they took the night off.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and everything is worse now. Now, Asmongold has been on a bit of a tear over the last couple of hours. He made a video, he made a couple of tweets, and I think it's really important to talk about a really specific aspect of this, because I really do believe this is a turning point for the USA. And I will be talking about it in various ways over the next couple of days, and probably for the next couple of years. I think people aren't recognizing how unbelievably tragic this situation is, not only from a humanity perspective, that you have an innocent man who fought for our country, for his family, and for God that was killed, but also the fact that this is going to have unbelievable repercussions to our country and democracy.
Yeah.
It is absolutely diabolical, and the reality is the fact that who knows how preventable this could have been. Obviously, this was God's plan, and Charlie is in a better place now, as heart-wrenching as it is to say. But the reality is, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens on the internet. You have a lot of people that are really comfortable saying things on the internet that will not be acceptable moving forward. I think that the world has come together to recognize that the violent rhetoric that happens online is absolutely dangerous and detrimental. And I think that everyone was so worried about government surveillance. Well, welcome to the era of government surveillance. The world is changing. You will have people absolutely taking the incitement to violence seriously moving forward. It is a truly horrifying reality that we're living in, and finally people are noticing. I've been screaming about this, literally yelling at the fucking walls that all the fucking far leftists inciting violence are gonna get somebody killed, and they killed the best of us. So, Asmongold made this tweet. Anyone surprised what happened to Charlie Kirk hasn't been paying attention. He's right. Go anywhere, Reddit, Twitter, etc. You'll find thousands of unhinged direct calls to violence over politics. Until it's addressed for what it is, things like this will continue to happen. And he's right. We have laws. Our laws prevent stochastic terrorism. Our laws prevent incitement of violence. And our laws are not being upheld. When you have reputable journalists like Taylor Lorenz saying someone has to do it in regards to killing Trump, when you have the former FBI director saying 8647, which means kill Trump, when you have the largest leftist political streamer in the world, Hassan Diddy Bin Laden Piker, yelling and screaming at his audience to kill United States senators, you know, at some point something awful and terrible is going to happen. And Charlie Kirk wasn't a radical. He wasn't far right. He wasn't some white nationalist.
No. He's moderate, right? He was moderate.
The best of us. He was just a guy. He was just a guy being a dude and fighting for what he believed in, fighting for God. And that was it. That's all that needed to happen. He was a Nazi in the eyes of the masses, and they're celebrating his death. But that's not what we're going to be talking about today. So Elon Musk responds with yes, which I think is a good sign as far as what's to come. And it's absolutely terrifying to see where we actually go from here. Now, Legacy Killer HD points out that several game devs are liking posts by the senior artist mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination, including all these people from Coalition Gears, Bungie, MTG Arena, lots of people from different studios and gaming studios. Asmongold says, if you want me to make a list, if I have time tomorrow, I can put them all together in a video with links to their employers. People are taking this seriously. This isn't just some sort of mob going after wokeness in video games. A good man was killed for this. And realistically, no one wants to see this happen again. No one. It's over. It's over. The radicalization process has happened, as they are calling it. I think people are not recognizing how unbelievably serious this situation is and how the world changed forever. Everything is worse now, and the world has changed. So, realistically, the list is growing. Asmongold is going to war. Libs of TikTok is making lists. And realistically, this is just going to keep happening, and it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. So, Brian Crescenstein, far-left retard extraordinaire and a bit of a faggot, decides to say, at FBI, at Cash Patel, at X, help me, help me. Some guy with 100 followers said, fuck you, coming after you. We should arrest this guy. He said, fuck you to me. He said, coming after you. Asmongold responds, you thought you were cute with the 8647 t-shirts and other calls to violence. Now it's happening to you. It's not going to stop. Now it's only going to get worse, and no one should have any sympathy for you. Be safe. Now, Asmongold's tweet ratioed him 10x. Also, to be honest, this tweet is not a call to violence. This is not incitement. This is what we call an analysis. Yes, when you are part of the retard movement that constantly calls to violence because you are a fucking terrorist organization on the far left, and you're gonna keep pushing this shit, you're gonna keep yelling and screaming about it, realistically, this is a warning. Be safe. It is happening to you. You killed the best of us. It's crazy. It's crazy to live in this timeline.
Your words and your hateful rhetoric
so, of course,
was the
Brian
end.
Kresenstein, you know what he has to say about this? He only has wise words. Reporting this threat to the FBI and Secret Service and Elon Musk, please do something about this account. This Asmongold guy told me that that I should be safe. This is a threat. And Asmongold doesn't give a shit, because honestly, I think I have been like in the no fucks given mode for a couple of months now. But I really feel like the no fucks given mode is going viral. All right, I have fucks given fatigue. Asmon responds, trying to report me after I don't kowtow to your pathetic attempt at sympathy baiting after you've spent months advocating for political violence. Who is this post for? Everyone can see through transparent manipulation. Completely true. You know, because this dude makes believe, oh no, a random guy on Twitter messaged me saying coming after you. What are we doing, guys? I get death threats every single fucking day. I've never doled one out. I've never even seen anyone in my audience be sending death threats. You know what? I think Hassan Piker, for example, is a terrorist-supporting communist that should be deported or imprisoned. I really do. I think he's genuinely dangerous to the United States of America. I don't give him death threats. I don't see my audience give him death threats. This is really a left-exclusive ideology. It is the terrorist left, all right? Not just the far left. The terrorist left that are pulling this shit off. They really are. They always have. And you can tell because they align with the terrorists literally in every fucking conflict in the universe. Every global conflict with terrorists involved, the left supports the terrorists. Every single fucking time. It's pretty weird how it keeps aligning like that. Pretty weird, huh? So anyway,
surprised they don't support Russia more.
A clip from Asmongold's video, which we're gonna watch. I didn't see it yet. But he sees a clip from Asmongold's video, and he's not happy that Asmongold is going scorched earth.
Practice genuine terrorism on a daily.
Dude, he's such a pussy. Just say you want me to be fucking killed, okay?
He's not saying that because he doesn't want you to be fucking killed.
Okay. What is this? What is this wishy-washy like, oh, the left gets to do terrorism and the left is defended for doing terrorism and they should actually
because they are
themselves. That's what he's trying
to
say.
And then, you know, congratulate each other about how moral and how good they are for doing it because something bad that happened in Palestine or something bad that Donald Trump did 3 years ago. This is just
Twitch partner streamer, by the way.
Simply a response. This is what's going to happen. And so, and I think that that's probably what it's going to take for these left-wing people to realize what a bad idea what they've been doing is. Because until it starts happening to them, until they start having people that are their friends or, you know, their, you know, like icons that they look up to, the same way people look up to Trump.
Dude, this is so fucking stupid, okay? This person is more my contemporary on the opposing side than fucking this rat is. I was supposed to debate him 2 weeks from now. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, he was supposed to debate Charlie Kirk in 2 weeks, and for the last 6 months, he's just been calling him a Nazi. I wonder if that had some sort of effect on it.
I've known this person for longer than I've known Asmongold. He has abhorrent views, okay? And I despise his views.
He does not have abhorrent views. He has incredibly normal views that honestly resonates with the majority of America. His views resonate with the majority of the country, Charlie Kirk. His abhorrent views is that abortion is murder. Oh, an abhorrent view. You shouldn't kill babies. Abhorrent, ladies and gentlemen.
But he's
you
over
take
here
accountability for your actions.
Of a dude I was supposed to debate 2 weeks from now to
instead of sacrificing your child.
Way possible without naming names here too, because he doesn't want to get banned. He doesn't want to go that far because he already experienced that He already experienced that issue one time when he actually said, you know, Palestinians deserve genocide.
He never said that. He said he doesn't care if people that have genocide baked into their laws get genocided. That's what he said. At least quote him.
While he's fucking crying on the sidelines about 86-47, he's literally...
86-47 means kill Trump. 86 means to kill or to get rid of, and 47 is the 47th president. Sorry, bitch. Yeah, he's upset that people are calling for political violence.
Literally saying, until the left start dropping like flies, they won't understand the violence that they're causing in this country.
He's not trying to get anyone to kill people on the left. You're not the victim here, Hassan, okay?
No.
He's just basically saying, in basic, obvious terms, the left has been inciting violence constantly in America for the last many years. Every violent
You
riot,
reap what you
every
sow.
single one, except for January 6th. Everyone was
Oh yeah,
left-based.
but I'm sure there are some
All the
parts
political violence has been
left.
left-based
The
violence. All
lefties
of
in there
it,
breaking the
basically.
windows for him.
Hassan, who calls for terroristic violence all the fucking time and supports every terrorist organization he could possibly find, he's so mad when Asmongold says it's likely that there will be violence against the left now.
Why the fuck would I want to debate Charlie Kirk if I wanted him to be killed?
Literally the worst argument of all time.
It's so fucking stupid. This is a much more active death threat than...
This is not a death threat. He's just saying that the left has been
They don't even
committing violence
understand what a
against the right
death threat
for years,
is.
and it's very
So
likely gonna
incredibly
come back around to bite them. That's
numb.
what he said. That's not a threat.
Any number...
Yeah, he's observing.
Numb and
It's
dumb.
weird that that Hassan Piker, political commentator, can't understand basic media literacy.
of different clip chimp things that he could point to about me, okay?
Yeah, so Asmongold responds in a great way. Always the victim. Needless to say, I don't support political violence against anyone, obviously. I didn't even mention him in the video. Also, this was 2 days ago. Actually, it was yesterday. But this was Hassan calling for violence on Nick Fuentes. Now, again, I don't agree with the majority of Nick Fuentes' opinions that I've seen just clipped and thrown around. I do agree with some of them, by the way. I don't agree with all of them, obviously.
No.
I think he's definitely
Which
far
will happen.
right. He's definitely radical. This is what Hassan had to say.
No, we gotta, you know, the moment is clear. You gotta sick like the ACP guys on him. Okay, that's it. You gotta get one of those like Haz al Dink type motherfuckers to just like eat his ass alive, you know? Let him fight.
Yeah, so this is directly calling for violence on Nick Fuentes. Now,
Yeah.
to be clear, this is a way more direct call to violence than anything Asmongold did. And also, to be clear, I think Nick Fuentes is much better for America than Hassan. Nick Fuentes
Sadly.
probably wants me killed. I'm joking, obviously. I don't think he wants anyone killed, to be honest. But Nick Fuentes is definitely an incendiary guy. Yeah, he has his incredible hot takes, you know, holy war against the Jews and all of that. But he's genuine. He fights for our country. You know, he fights for our country. He does, in his own way. I disagree with a lot of his strategies, but he does fight for our country. He did have sadness and remorse and make a heartbreaking tweet when Charlie Kirk was killed, and he hated Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk was pro-Israel. Hassan couldn't even condemn the shooting of Charlie Kirk. I watched it. I looked through his stream. I looked through his tweets. He didn't condemn the murder of the guy he was supposed to debate in 2 weeks. He couldn't condemn him. He couldn't condemn the political assassination that took place. Obviously, because he supports it, in my opinion. He supports all of the political violence. He supported the 2 Israeli guys getting murdered in Washington, D.C. a few months ago. And of course he supports this. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. He's a terrorist supporter. He's a communist. Of course he supports this. He should be deported immediately. But anyway, I wanted to see Asmongold's take, because the reality is we are moving into a new era right now. A very, very scary era. And realistically, it's really, really fun. Really fun to take a look at how this will change the world moving forward. Because the internet will never be the same. All the people that are just sitting around and yelling and screaming about inciting violence to people, that shit's over. We're living in a new era. It's Palantir time, okay? People don't realize what we're walking into.
God, that's a big blown up picture of Asmon.
I only hope that it makes the world a better place, even though I fear that it may not.
Hey guys, it's me again, and it's been a little while. Just before I get into the main topic of the video, I want to explain why there haven't been any videos. My dad has been in the hospital for the better part of a week now. A very serious situation. It has required my full attention, and because of that, I've been on call.
Good son.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about, man. This is a man that he's fighting for what's right. Fuck, dude. His dad has pancreatic cancer. Look, my grandmother died of pancreatic cancer, so I relate. It's horrible.
I've been dealing with other people, talking to members of the family, and doing everything that I need to be there for my dad and for my family during.
Yeah, we're praying for you guys. We are.
This situation, and because of that, I haven't been live and
For sure
been on
are.
videos. I apologize for that. Hopefully, I'll be back as soon as possible. That being said, we had something insane happen today, and I was able to break away a little bit earlier, and I wanted to make a video about it and talk about the obvious and inevitable nature of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This happened a few hours ago, and it was probably one of the most gruesome and graphic, and this is coming from somebody who grew up on Live Leak.
It was the worst. Like, it was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Literally one of the worst things I've ever seen. Just seeing that video with blood pouring out of his neck.
Yeah.
The moment I saw that video, I just said, all right, well, it's in God's hands because no man could save him.
Yep.
And I guess God decided it was his time. It literally, it fucked me up. It destroyed me. It really did. This was a good man.
Videos I've ever seen. The first time I saw a video, I thought it was AI generated.
Yeah.
The guy gets shot in the neck, and blood is spurting out. I didn't even know it could do that. And
he literally got shot right in the jugular.
And it was absolutely fucking horrifying to see something like that happen.
And to a guy that, you know, I've watched hours
For
and hours
years.
of his content. I've had DMs with him on Twitter. You know, he was a guy. He was a force for good. Ultimately, he really was. It was horrific, absolutely horrific. Just to see that happen. Yeah, I will never forget it. It will be burned into my head forever.
Nope,
It changed
it is
me as
there.
a person. It did. I give so much credit to Charlie for what he's done. He really brought, in my opinion, he really brought God into the public discourse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was never someone to stray away from it, and he died for God. He was a real martyr, a genuine legend, a faithful servant.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even
good and faithful servant.
How horrifying this is.
In front of a massive audience of people. Now, if you don't know who Charlie Kirk,
in front of 3,000 people,
You've been
publicly.
If you haven't heard of Charlie Kirk, you've been under a rock.
There was a sniper, and it didn't matter.
Charlie Kirk has been a pretty noteworthy, controversial guy. He's a conservative.
He's not controversial, to be clear. Everyone likes calling him controversial. He's not. He has generic conservative values. Generic conservative values. He is not radical in any way. And watching the media turn him into, he was radical. He was far right. He hated black people. You know, he really wasn't a radical guy at all. He had pretty common sense, basic, normal values. He really did. And everyone but he thought abortion was murder. Yeah. Yeah, he did.
So do I.
Obviously. Yeah, for sure.
Basic conservative value.
They're killing babies for no reason most of the time. The reality is, people like framing him that way, but he really wasn't. He was only controversial because he was popular. He was popular and went viral. He was controversial. Bro didn't do anything wrong.
No.
Controversial
He didn't say anything mean
you're on
to
Epstein's
his
Island
opponents.
46 times. All right. Controversial is when you're constantly, calling to the fucking people to kill a United States senator. Controversial is saying that America deserved 9/11. That's controversial.
Yeah.
Controversial is what? Having an open debate, an open conversation with people? Just open discussion? That's controversial now? Dog. He was a regular guy. He was a regular guy that fought for what's right.
He was.
And even if you disagree with him, he fought for what he thought was right, which is the First Amendment of the United States.
And it was civil discourse, he wondered.
College campuses, does live debates. This is a pretty popular format nowadays, and Charlie Kirk has been popularizing it and utilizing it now for many years, and he was even featured in South Park recently because of it. Charlie Kirk definitely is not a super radical right-wing person, but I would say that he's more of the moderate to, kind of extreme right-wing. Very, very, I would say, lukewarm, though, in my opinion. At least, especially... And
I'm so glad he said that. I completely agree.
This is where we're going, especially compared to now. And what I think is going to happen now, because obviously... these shootings like this don't really happen inside of a vacuum.
No, of course not.
And they never do.
No, who wakes up one morning and is like, oh, I'm going to go murder this guy because he has opinions I don't like?
Yeah.
Who does that?
The trans.
It's
the
obvious,
mentally unstable.
It's so obvious that it's some sort of indoctrination. It's like
when
you see a Hamas terrorist that makes a phone call to his dad. This audio was released. On October 7th, a Hamas terrorist calls his dad and is like, Dad, I did it. I'm calling from a Jew phone. I just killed 10 Jews. I have their blood on my hand. Dad, this is so awesome. I have their blood on my hands. I killed 10 Jews.
So excited about it.
That's a clip that went viral. That is something that happens because that person was indoctrinated. That's not a defense, by the way. Fuck that person. Hope he's burning in hell. He probably is. But realistically, this happens because of an indoctrination. You don't just wake up and do that, you know? You don't just wake up and do that shit. No way that happened. Oh, that did happen. That was played in the United Nations, actually, that recording. That is a true story. So this shit never happens in a vacuum. Never, ever. In my opinion, it's so obvious that the constant over-politicizing of shit is what caused this.
They never have. And I think that the situation that we have right now is that there is a tremendous amount of political violence that is advocated for, promoted, and allowed to exist on social media that has turned up the temperature in all political conversations, all social conversations, and all discourse on the internet in general.
The guy that murdered the 2 Israeli Christians in Washington, D.C., executed them, that guy, he was part of all sorts of online socialist clubs. Of course, these motherfuckers are turning up the temperature. Obviously, this is radicalizing people. The trans freak that shot up a Catholic school the other week, this person had all the sorts of social media accounts, had all the fucking Twitter flags in his bio. Every single fucking one, collecting Twitter flags like Pokemon, right? Dude was fighting for trans rights and free Palestine and all the generic, leftoid slop.
To a point where it's almost unrecoverable. You have people that are out there all the time advocating for violence, advocating for people to get killed. Somebody needs to take care of this guy.
Yes.
Somebody needs to deal with this.
Literally,
I wish
right.
you were dead.
He's right. He's literally correct. I mean, and you don't even need to look far. It's horrifying. So one of the most popular leftist journalists these days is a cretin by the name of Taylor Lorenz. So Taylor Lorenz's most popular video on YouTube is titled, "Someone Needs to Do It," in regards to killing Trump. Like, really? We don't know where this is going? What are we doing, guys? What are we fucking doing?
Won't somebody do it? The 8647, all of the crypto messaging and all the doxing, right? Why do you dox somebody? Why do you post?
Obviously, you dox people to get them to kill people. Obviously. Why else would you post their public information if it's not for violence?
The person's home address. It's to make other people that are insane, like the person who killed Charlie Kirk, it's to give them the ammunition they need to kill that person. And
right, the actual Taylor Lorenz's and Hassan Pikers, they're pussies. They're gigantic walking vaginas. And they don't want to go to jail. They don't want to actually have repercussions. They would love political violence. They would love a terrorist movement to start in America to take out the fascists, as they label them all. They would love that shit. Absolutely. That's why they stoke the coals, stir the flames, try their absolute fucking best to get this shit to happen. And then, oopsie, it was just a mentally ill guy that actually did it. Because, obviously, no normal person is going to go murder somebody and fuck their entire life. Right? No normal person's going to do that. But all they need to do is get one fucking psycho to do it. That's all they need. They have an audience of millions. They just need one psychopath in their audience. That's it. That's literally it. Holy shit.
Put that person's life in danger. That's why
I have people popping up in my chat. Didn't Charlie Kirk say X and Y about X and Y? Yeah, it's his opinion. You can't kill him for it in America. What are you fucking doing? What are you talking about? Oh, he had an opinion I disagree with. And? Literally, fuck you if you think that's relevant right now.
they're doing it. And so that's the reason why they want to find out the identities of ICE agents. That's the reason why they want to find out the identities of Tesla owners, like at the beginning of the year. It's so they can destroy their car and destroy their lives.
Of course.
And this isn't necessarily a one-sided thing. I think that in the last 5 years or so, especially since BLM, it's been a like 90% left-wing thing, but that doesn't mean that the 10% right-wing people are right either. But I do think that now you're going to see a lot more right-wing people balancing out those scales.
Terrifying. Terrifying. Look, man, you know, I would also obviously love to calm the temperature. And while I absolutely want the temperature to be calmed, we also need to arrest criminals. We need to arrest criminals. We need to realize that the far left is an actual terrorist organization.
Is that you can take a knife to a gunfight all you want, and you can think that you're honorable, but you're going to end up being dead.
True.
And I think that's what right-wing people have done for...
honestly, arm up, boys. It's getting really hairy out there. It really is. People don't know it yet, but we are at war. I hope for peace soon, but right now we're at war.
Mm-hmm. We truly are.
For a very long time, they've tried to speak above the political violence. They've tried to advocate above it and not try to stoop down to that level. But the issue is that a lot of these social media companies have expressed literally zero desire to even do the bare minimum of moderation. I think that two of the worst actors are Twitter or X and Reddit.
Yeah.
Both of these platforms are full of a bunch of extreme...
Twitter, Reddit, Blue Sky, Twitch, they're everywhere. They're
I mean, it's
absolutely
horrible.
everywhere.
Look.
And if the government is actually going to
It's
start
like
focusing on
all over my
public
feed.
accounts on the internet, this could change the course of history.
Extremist nut jobs that not only should have their accounts banned, but they should probably be put in mental institutions. And I think that now, I find it to be kind of interesting taking a step back for a week or so and seeing how many people are coming around to the inevitable reality that this is the only path forward. There are so many people in society now that are just completely unhinged, under-medicated, and really just completely insane that you can't have a person like that running wild out.
Bro. Look, man, you can argue about unhinged and mentally insane and under-medicated, and these are all, you know, things that exist for sure. We need to do something more about the reality of how fucking insane everything is, how high the temperature is, how evil some people are in society. We have to understand that we are in a holy war, all right? Good versus evil. All right, not labeling people anything, but there do be demons among us. All right, you see these people fucking laughing and cheering and so happy and overjoyed that this happened. These are people that do not have basic humanity. These are not people that are upholding the biblical values that founded our country. So yeah, we are at war.
In society, they cause problems for themselves, not to mention everybody else around them. And I think that the society, we need to have an honest conversation about how to deal with these people in a way that, and I'll be real, I don't really care about the people that are crazy. Their well-being and the way that, you know, things are for them. Of course, obviously, I wouldn't want it to be bad, but it's certainly not important. What's really important is all of the people who aren't crazy, making sure that people that are not crazy, that are good actors, that are law-abiding citizens, are able to live a life of peace, a life of prosperity, and a life without fear of going on the subway, for example, as at the recent event as well. And I think that every single person in the world deserves to live in a place like that. And I don't want to see...
I don't actually believe that necessarily.
Zach Dunlop, huh?
I don't think that people deserve anything. I think that you have to take and make the best of what we have and fight for what's right. I don't think we deserve things, Deserving implying
Yeah.
that you exist and something falls into your lap. That you are an empty cup that someone fills up. That's deserving. I don't believe in deserving. I think that you deserve things when you do a job and you made a contract with your employer and your employer now pays you. You deserve that payment. All right? But when you don't do anything, with all due respect, abso-fucking-lutely not. Deserve,
Wait, they say they
deserve
got the
implies
girls
it has
back in custody? Let's find out. No. I mean, seriously. Looks like him. Like, those can't be changed. Like, mm-hmm. Yeah, could be. No audio. Go back to that video. Let's see if these jerks get shot. Carry around a sledgehammer. They all hop in the car. Probably BMW. Gray BMW.
You guys, don't we have MAGA? Don't you understand? If we have another civil war,
Evil she looks.
all the blue states will control all the fresh water. You guys don't think this shit through, do you? MAGA, don't you understand? If we have another civil war,
Eyes.
happens by itself. We need to fight for this. We absolutely need to fight for this. We need to fight for our safe transit, and we need to fight for our safe cities, and we need to fight for our safe country, and we need to fight in general to uphold the actual values that we have, because they are trying to destroy it. They are.
They're trying to pull the rug out from underneath us, that's for sure.
Into a PvP server, and it sure seems like it is. And I think that in order to prevent that from happening, we need to have honest conversations about what do you do with people that, you know, get arrested 14 times. And it's not even a question, right? You put them in jail and you throw away the key, and you compel them to work, and that way you can make the money back from imprisoning them forever. That's the way that you solve that problem. It's very simple, actually.
It is pretty simple. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, their rights don't override our rights. Absolutely not. 100%. Open the fucking hole and fill the hole, baby. Fill the fucking hole. No shadow of a doubt in my mind.
Prison.
That's what we need to do. If
Are
they're
most
criminals,
prisons
if
owned
they're
privately?
dangerous to people around them, I don't care if they have mental health issues. They shouldn't be in public.
Is that a
Their
thing?
rights do not override any of ours. What are we fucking doing? It's insane. Absolutely insanity.
But for some reason, the way that that makes people feel has made them unwilling to look at this obvious truth. If you look in history, this is what we've always done in history, and it's because it works. And the problem is that now we have so much of the discourse that's dominated by
fake empathy,
by emotional thinking, that's dominated by the most unstable, the most virtue signal, the most, ridiculous, performative empathy possible.
He didn't want to say the reality, but I'll tell you what he means. We've been feminized. We have been feminized. Men and women are biologically different creatures, okay? Absolutely. And women do operate more based on emotion than men. This is not a bad thing. This is reality. It's actually a good thing for a mom to operate on empathy and emotion. Absolutely. It's a wonderful thing. But this feminization of the entire country, where we have a massive group of people in the country that are literally voting and deciding and making decisions and doing witch hunts, and the Karenization of people that is literally happening because these motherfuckers feel so emotionally attached to the MS-13 illegal immigrant fucking human trafficker rapist wife beater
they care more about this
We care so much about that guy.
Maryland guy than they do Charlie Kirk.
Wow, that's horrible. I'll be real. I do think society would be in a better place if there would be one vote per household, and only a married couple would be allowed to vote with one vote. I think that America would be a better place. I do. For example, I absolutely do.
I think it would be easier to count the votes.
We are living in an empathy-based society because of this grand fucking upheaval of this diabolical estrogenization of society. It's fucking insane to live in that timeline. But we do. But we do live on that timeline.
Women got rights to vote.
And that's
then they got driver's license.
Political voice in the country.
Wrong move,
this
America.
has become a tremendous detriment to everyone. And I think that with people like the shooter that probably shot Charlie Kirk, with that guy.
And the irony is, these people don't even care.
No, they're
All the
rejoicing
people
in
with
it.
empathy for the illegal immigrant rapist pedophiles don't have empathy for Charlie Kirk, a 31-year-old man with a whole life ahead of him, married with 2 little kids that will grow up without a father. All
Who
of
is
their
going to become
empathy,
president? I swear his kid is going to grow up
all of the emotional bullshit that they all have,
and be
they feel
a strong,
so deeply for terrorist
or
organizations,
he's going to be a very angry person.
but they don't care.
Either very strong-willed like his father, or very angry.
Just woke up in the morning wanting to make the country better, ended up dining with God that night. They don't care. It's fake empathy. It's emotional bullshit. It's all blackmailing. None of this fucking matters to these people. They don't care.
In the subway that stabbed that Ukrainian woman.
His wife and kids were there at that school event. Do you realize
Yeah, that's
his
tough.
3-year-old daughter watched her father get shot in the neck and die in front of her while people on the campus cheered? Do you realize what's happening? But they have no empathy for that. They don't care. That doesn't matter to these people. Want to see the worst tweet I saw today? Let me find it for you. It's pretty relevant. Not that I want to actually even look at it again, but I'll show you the worst tweet of the day. All right, so this is a video of Charlie Kirk's daughter.
Yeah.
I can't even watch this video. Running up to him, and this gets retweeted by a Marxist guy with the Palestine flag, saying literally no one on this planet benefits more than the child who won't grow up with Charlie Kirk in their life. This has 164,000 likes.
Yeah, sheesh.
So yeah, we're fighting demons.
Mm-hmm. Evil.
That's the person with.
You're evil.
They even have a Palestine flag in their bio. That's how much they care.
They care about the genocide going on.
Or with that trans shooter that shot up the school. One thing that's common among all of them is that these people, in almost all cases, were verifiably nuts beforehand, and nothing ever was done about it. And until we can...
And we are going to start... That's why the government, in my opinion, is going to start absolutely doing their absolute best to start doing deep dives. Like, insane deep dives into the history of every single person. It's gonna be insane. Like, these people were verifiably crazy people first.
Stomach the idea of solving problems like that before they happen, we're gonna keep having problems. And I think that with Charlie Kirk, it's very obvious that the amount of, political violence and advocating for political violence that's happening on the internet has turned up the temperature and created an environment and a culture where this type of behavior is normal. And not only is it normal, but it's actually encouraged.
Yep,
and
encouraged and called for, and then supported, and then, like,
right? Think about Luigi
glorified.
Mangione. He went out, he assassinated a healthcare CEO, and everyone fucking celebrated him. Everyone celebrated him.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone celebrated Luigi Mangione killing the healthcare CEO. Now, to be clear, I don't give a shit about the healthcare CEO. I didn't like the guy. I didn't think he was a good dude. Did healthcare change? The answer is no. It didn't change at all. The only thing that did change is it obviously showed the world that there is a large portion on the terrorist left that really want to just murder people they don't like.
Mm-hmm. Or disagree with.
It's fucking horrifying.
Are acting on it. And you're starting to see this happen, and I think it's going to continue getting worse. I don't think Charlie Kirk is going to be the last one, but I think that we will look at Charlie Kirk's death and see it as a turning point in this topic.
Yeah, fuck, dude.
And what I'm really trying to get at here with this entire point is that right now we are at a extremely pivotal moment. And I think that what's going to end up happening is that right-wing people are not going to continue to turn the other cheek. They're not going to continue to just,
I hope so. I hope that we find a way to tune the temperature down and try our best. It's so scary. We're living at a really scary time.
Well, this is just a crazy left-wing radical. I think you're probably going to see right-wing people doing the same thing to left-wing people. And honestly, while I don't think this...
I mean, we will see what happens, obviously. It might. I'm praying that that this doesn't happen anymore. A lot of people are like calling for vengeance and calling for people to kill left-wing politicians. Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Don't do that. Okay, that's horrible.
It doesn't help.
It doesn't make you any better than them. It doesn't. Okay, it's not. That's not vengeance. It's not justice. What the fuck are you doing? I hope it doesn't happen.
Vengeance is God.
People are really angry. People are really, really angry, and righteously angry. I don't believe in revenge, but I do believe in justice, and I do want to see justice. I don't want to see vengeance, but I do want to see justice. I want our country to become a better place, and I think that if you really wanted to honor Charlie Kirk, you would fight for what he fought for. If you really wanted to honor this man, it wouldn't be by just killing some politician. It wouldn't be by, you know, doing George Floyd style riots and lighting shit on fire. The best way to honor Charlie Kirk is to fight for your country and to fight for God and to build a family and to teach the next generation about what we should be fighting for. That's how you honor this man. All right, that's not how you fight. You don't honor him by killing some other guy. Now, obviously, the gunman should be publicly executed because I believe in justice. Absolutely, I believe in justice. I really believe that we need to amp up justice in the country. I think we're living in a two-tier system where a lot of people get off the hook way too easily, and they shouldn't.
It's a good thing. I certainly don't really feel that sorry for them. Because a lot of left...
It's not our job to punish or judge people. It's for God to decide. I mean, I disagree. God gave us the Bible. The Bible teaches us how to punish people. So, no, I actually don't agree with you. I think God gave us rules. And in the rules, it states that if someone takes a man's life, you put them to death. All right? Leviticus 24:17. God is telling us to kill the motherfucker that shot Charlie Kirk. All right? To be clear. He gave us these rules. Right, so let's not be too holy, all right? Let's not be too holy. Yeah. Absolutely. You kill them before they kill you. That's the Bible.
People have no problem advocating for violence, or at least using coded language in order to advocate for violence. The fact is that there's a certain level of intellectual dishonesty that goes on in situations like this where it's considered, oh, well, you know, this isn't actually what they meant, and no, this is actually some other... No, it is. Yeah. That's exactly what they mean.
Of course.
They're trying to advocate for killing people that
they do all the time, and they do it in code words, so you can't punish them for inciting violence. What a joke. Well, you know when Trump said burning the flag will put you in jail? Based as fuck. That is inciting riots. It really is. Okay?
They already had laws in place for that, though. Especially burning something in public.
You get fucked for it. And maybe more people would stop inciting violence.
Yep.
That's what's happening, and there's no talking around it. And to the extent that you try to, you're insulting the intelligence of anyone that you're speaking to. And I think that now you're going to start seeing a lot of right-wing people end up doing this to left-wing people now even more. Because it's very clear that these social media platforms are not going to moderate this behavior.
Yeah, they're not.
The FBI, for whatever reason, just refuses to deal with or have any degree of accountability.
He's completely right. I don't know what the FBI is fucking doing. I don't know what the FBI is
Don't worry about the Epstein files. Don't worry about the Epstein files.
You have someone on the internet saying, go kill a politician, and the FBI is twiddling their thumbs to the point that that dude's not even banned from the internet? Like, what are we doing? Insane. When you see these unhinged, crazy, violent people, why don't you fucking do something about it?
For dealing with these obvious terrorists that are in the country.
True.
And because of that, I think you're going to start seeing an uptick of violence from right-wing people as well. And this is
all acting in behalf of China, trying to tear the country from the inside out.
Justified because it's not justified, but the word is expected. I think it's going to be expected.
They're going to want a Chinese martial law in place.
So mad that Asmongold is making an observation that there will be violence. And then he goes out and supports terrorist organizations. Classic. See, but I think that's a really easy example. Anyone in the FBI watching? All right, if anybody in the FBI watching, if there's a guy on the internet that is directly supporting United States designated terrorist organizations, fucking do something about that.
Is that, you know, again, you bring a knife to a gunfight, you're gonna lose, and don't be surprised when you keep bringing guns to gunfights and then somebody else decides to start shooting back. I think that's what's gonna happen, and I think this is a degradation of society as a whole, and ultimately the real burden of responsibility here doesn't really fall on influencers, and I don't think that it falls even on the commenters themselves.
I really think that the burden of responsibility obviously is primarily on the shooter, obviously. But it's also on every single person that, you know, incites violence, that doesn't apply our laws, the government that's not actually arresting people or doing anything to protect us. Insane.
I think it falls primarily on the government. The fact is that the government, there are already laws that permit, explicit calls to violence. There's already laws that permit the types of stalking and doxing that people engage in online.
I think he means forbid.
And one of the big things that is a misconception is that people like me want new laws. We want any form of extra censorship
just
at all.
Basic.
I certainly don't want that, and I don't know anybody else that does either.
Basic
but
enforcement.
What we do want is we want the existing laws to be applied and to be enforced in an accurate and a fair way, which is clearly not what's happening. And really, the government not doing that and giving this asymmetrical, in my opinion, advantage to left-wing people to fully and with complete freedom practice genuine terrorism on a daily basis, and then congratulate each other about how moral and how good they are for doing it because something bad that happened in Palestine or something bad that Donald Trump did 3 years ago. This is just simply a response. This is what's going to happen. And so, and I think that that's probably what it's going to take for these left-wing people to realize what a bad idea what they've been doing is. Because until it starts happening to them, until they start having people that are their friends or, their, like icons that they look up to, the same way people looked up to Charlie Kirk, until they start seeing those people get killed, I don't think it's really going to be real for them. And unfortunately, I think
really
that's the
real
path
now.
that we're headed down because of the government and social media companies and every other seemingly governmental apparatus that has just completely hand-waved this problem and ignored it entirely. So
it's
the death
real
of
right
Charlie
now.
Kirk and the assassination of him should not come as a surprise to anyone.
Unfortunately.
This should be something
Yeah,
that
sadly.
everybody could have expected. All you had to do is read Twitter for an hour, and you could have told me this would have happened, of course. Same with Reddit. And until that core problem is addressed, you will continue to see a rapid decline in any type of social discourse. And I'm actually kind of afraid to see what's going to happen.
Speaking of being afraid, Asmongold needs security ASAP. He is a public figure that is not secure, that has been doxxed, I'm pretty sure, that, people like Hassan Piker constantly call him out as supporting Trump and calling him a Nazi for that. He absolutely needs...
Yeah, he needs some type of protection.
Like, I am scared for these people. I really am. Like,
But Asmon's stubborn and won't want to change his lifestyle.
Scary times.
I mean, look at the way he lives. He hasn't changed it really by any means.
It's just going to continue getting worse.
Yeah, I guess a little
I don't
bit.
see the reason for it to stop. And
He
so
has
anyway,
changed.
I wanted to make this video because it's obviously a topic that, I've been talking about this a lot for the past few years now. And I was laughed at a lot, and people were telling me it wasn't that big of a deal, and they were joking.
Yeah,
well, I saw the
right.
video. That wasn't a joke. And the reality is that those jokes and everything create a culture and an environment where the actual actions are more permissible.
He's right.
And you also have people...
It's not just permissible, it's idolized. It's idolized by these people.
Mhm.
These people are idolizing these killers. They are supporting and directly supporting the killers, right? Are we realizing that? Like, they're happy that the killers are killing.
Mhm.
They are saying that they deserved it because he's a Nazi, because he's Christian, because whatever the
Yep.
fuck. It's insane. And to be honest, why is anyone surprised? Let me show you a clip. All right, let me show you a clip, and we'll see if you'll be surprised. All right. So
If you want to have an honest conversation or a serious conversation,
this is Hassan having a conversation with a guy. Let's see what he says here, and let's see if this is important or relevant.
What is it? So, I mean, it's probably like the bleakest situation that I could imagine right now. Obviously, like Americans theoretically, as a block of people, like average Americans have a decent amount of power to challenge this, but they also themselves have no real reason, no real motivation for doing so, because ultimately, what you said about Vietnam probably rings true. It does not affect them that much. It affects some of them psychologically,
Mhm.
and that is about it. They don't see any material consequences from it.
Right? They say, so what they're talking about is they don't see any consequences to why they don't support Palestine.
You know, there has not been like a massive adverse reaction that could turn them against it. Like, for example, like the IRA, for example.
The IRA is a terrorist organization that was in Ireland, I believe.
Did a lot to like instill like fatigue in the British public on their government.
Right, so it was an Irish. I'm pretty sure it was an Irish terrorist group that that bombed British areas. They bombed British pubs and British places and killed civilians because they wanted to essentially fatigue the British people. They were a terrorist organization.
To try and look for some sort of solution to the troubles.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. There's nothing like it.
He's complaining that there isn't an IRA-style terrorist organization in the United States killing our royalty the same way the IRA killed the royalty in England. They're not car bombing people. He's complaining.
Anywhere, not at all.
Well, there's no situation historically that has existed where the captive population has been this thoroughly, at least in contemporary history that I can think of, where the captive population has been this thoroughly ethnically cleansed in broad daylight without any sort of material support to offer from other countries, right? Like you have no Cuban example, you have no USSR example, and the role that they might have played in the ANC's efforts to resist against the apartheid structure in South Africa. And you certainly don't have American congresspersons doing arms trafficking to Hamas in the way.
And he's mad that they're not arms trafficking weapons to a terrorist organization.
That they did to the IRA. You had
to the IRA. Once again, Hassan co-signs this idea that he wants an IRA-style terrorist organization operating in America, bombing our cars, instilling fatigue into America, blackmailing and killing our politicians to get them to give money to terrorists in the Middle East.
Yeah.
You really wonder how this happened? You really wonder how this goes? Like, this, what are we doing? This is a video, it's on YouTube. This is a public video on YouTube. These are a bunch of streamers that got together to say they want a terrorist organization to operate in America. What the fuck are we doing? The fuck are we doing? FBI? Hello? 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 What's going on? Hello?
Yeah, you know the FBI's listening in. You know they're in the van outside.
They're talking around, just directly, saying that this is a bad thing and it shouldn't be tolerated for any reason. You have, I don't want to go through a bunch of different names, but anybody, this is the way I look at it. I'm just going to make a categorical judgment here.
All right.
Is that any content creator or anybody like this who has been advocating for violence against a person in an extrajudicial way. I'm not talking about trying people who they disagree with for treason.
Agreed.
This is advocating for the judicial process to be used against people they disagree with. I think that's fine. But whenever you have people that are saying things like 8647, or anybody who's advocating for any form of extrajudicial justice, extrajudicial justice, and basically vigilante justice on people who they disagree with politically, you have to realize that all of those people, I think, have made themselves acceptable targets. And I think that there's a lot and millions of people.
Not like acceptable. I'm just clarifying because I assume this is what he means. Not acceptable that you should go kill those guys.
Yeah, but acceptable targets for the FBI.
In the eyes of a radicalized guy on the right that wants revenge. I'm pretty sure.
Well, also for the FBI to target.
Nowadays that see that, and I think that should be extremely worrying for them. It should be terrifying.
Yeah.
But the reality is that they have created that environment themselves.
He's right.
Through their own actions, through their
Unfortunately,
behavior,
he's right.
and through their own words. You reap what you sow.
Fuck,
and I think that things are about to get a whole lot worse. So anyway, guys, I wanted to make this video and talk about it. And that's about all I've got to say. So I hope to be back soon. I'll record videos when I can, here and there. But for the most part, as I said before, My dad has had so many really serious issues going on. I need to devote my full attention to making sure that he's healthy and taken care of. And so, as much as I look forward to streaming, this has to take priority. I don't have a time frame. It will probably be a matter of weeks and maybe not even that long until I'm back regularly. And so hopefully that's the case. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. Another senseless death that never needed to happen. And I think that anybody who was, talking about this and turning up the heat on any of this type of political rhetoric and discussing, or at least, flirting with the idea of political violence, I think all of those people have made themselves acceptable targets in all of the worst ways possible. Dude. And I don't think that this is a good thing either, but I think it's happened. So anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. And I guess I'll see you soon. Anyway, peace.
Yeah, peace. Realistically, it's a terrifying, horrible situation, and everything is different. Everything has changed.
Everything feels different.
Everything has changed now. We are living in unprecedented times. I miss you, Charlie. The world misses you, and the world is worse without you.
Yeah.
We have to keep fighting. We can't give up. We have to keep fighting. And the reality is, I think Asmongold is correct. I think he's right. I think that unfortunately this does open the door to more and more violence on all sides. The rules changed, the attitude changed. People have awoken. And tragically, and obviously the government is going to be looking, I think, deeper into the entire situation. All right, the government is going to be observing, monitoring, and taking care, I think, of people on the internet more. I know I spoke to someone that works at YouTube, and I said, what the fuck is going on here? What's going on? We have people calling for violence on your platform. What are you doing? It's a crime. It's not censorship. And he said, yeah, no, things are changing. Things are changing. We're living in very scary times. There are demons among us.
Yep, for sure.
I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, Nux, for the great
like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on Kick.
Check out Nuxanar. Good streamer. A little more vulgar than I am, but you know what? He does do some good coverage. But I think I'm going to call it here tonight. And we'll pick up the stream tomorrow afternoon sometime. So, thank you everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it all. And everybody, God bless. And praying for the peace in the world, a break from this chaos. That's what we need. All right. God bless. Love y'all.